Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Hi, this is Tom Borthwick, the Diamond King. We have a huge selection in-store, 10 times most places in Whatcom County. We have over 100 certified large diamonds in stock. We have trained staff that went to jewelry school. We offer huge discounts all the time, every day. We have 3 jewelers in our store. We want you to save time. We gift wrap everything and treat you kindly with knowledge. Thank you for shopping a family-owned small business that supports 9 families. We donate to over 50 charities per year. Thank you for being our customer, Borthwick Jewelry.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,941. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the hottest cities in the U.S. and delicious barbecue. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, funnable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drinking John. All right, here we go. Phoenix, Arizona man is arrested after attempting a Santa Claus entrance into a family's home. We head to beautiful British Columbia, where one realtor's upper lip was covered in utterly delicious foam. New York amusement park riders get an extra 10-minute ride for free. Cattle farmer picks up his heifers and decides to move to the big city. And an Ohio bank robber falls right into the cops' hands. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, look, you can make detailed plans and visualize, but you won't necessarily be prepared for what life has in store for you. Daredevil Remy Enigma. He's the 30-year-old guy you've probably heard about. He climbs skyscrapers and towers around the world, usually without permission, take a selfie, get arrested, and then do it again. Well, he won't be doing that anymore because he fell from the 68th floor of the Tregunter Tower in Hong Kong. Now, according to the article, quote, police have not released an official cause of death, so we thought we'd give them a hint. He fell from the 68th floor of a building, man. Come on. Now, you don't need to just scale the skyscraper for misfortune to blow you a kiss. Sometimes you just need to be an idiot. And no place offers idiots a more full menu of bad ideas than the world of online challenges. Tide Pod Challenge, Bleach Drinking Challenge, the 1,000-degree Knife Challenge, the Toilet Seat Licking Challenge, and, of course, the Cactus Eating Challenge, etc. All of them are stupid and dangerous, and people always worried that kids will try these things. Well, it's not just kids you have to worry about. Apparently, there's also middle-aged men. A grown-ass man in China, he saw an online challenge, and he decided to give it a try. 2 hours later, doctors had to dislocate his jaw and remove the light bulb that he'd gotten stuck in his mouth. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question to complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Home and tell us away we go. Welcome to season 18, episode number 3,941. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeats. Exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. In the midst of summer here in the Pacific Northwest, the rest of the United States basically on fire. Yeah, as we know it. So we have the 10 hottest cities in the USA for 2023. Keeping in mind that they haven't even accounted for some of the temperatures in the last month and a half.
Right, exactly. Like, when did this thing come out?
Yeah, it is just a scorcher out there. And then since it is the summertime, we have 2023's best barbecue cities in America. All right. Based on 5 categories: the number of barbecue vendors, the ratings from Yelp and everything else, competition awards, and the number of barbecue festivals are among 20 different metrics that they share to find out the 10 places in America where if you want to get some really good barbecue, you can do it. Now, around here, we don't bode that well, although we do have some great barbecue in the Pacific Northwest.
We do.
It's just a matter of all these metrics being put together and then lumped. And once you see that, you realize this is not really the home of the barbecue festival.
No, I mean, you can find restaurants that have good barbecue, but it's not a barbecue place.
So we have the 10...
It's not a barbecue culture.
Yes.
Barbecue culture.
Yeah.
Right, like the Northwest just didn't have it. It's all right.
Well, weather has a lot to do with it.
Is it all right? I really like barbecue. I'd like a little more barbecue culture.
Correct.
Just a sprinkling.
There's salmon and stuff up here in the Northwest.
There's Korean barbecue.
Right, but when you talk barbecue, right, like I just generally think Texas, the Carolinas, like the South.
All those different types. Yeah, you had some barbecue over the weekend, didn't you? Some smoked chicken wings.
I did. Yeah, had them yesterday. They were delicious.
I love, man, smoked chicken wings. You cannot go wrong with that. That is And Ryan Castle, he came back from a little excursion in Alaska. What did he do yesterday? He spent the entire day smoking salmon bellies.
That is correct.
I've never had salmon belly before till today.
How good was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good.
Yeah.
I mean, the flavoring he put on there was fantastic. I don't know what the seasoning rub was, but it hit the spot. So we're going to talk a little barbecue or the hottest cities in the U.S. coming up with your guess is as good as mine. And as we do every Monday through Friday, you get more Men's Room exclusively on the Odyssey app as we head on over for the Men's Room Happy Hour. At episode number 435, we've got some props from the weekend that we'll be doing. So hopefully you can join us. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It is absolutely free. If you search for the Men's Room page, you'll find all things Men's Room on there, from our radio channel to all the different podcasts that we do, the daily podcast, the weekly podcast that we put out. Tons of stuff there. If you have some extra time and you want to check out, if you missed the show, just head to the Odyssey app. And we'll see you coming up at 6 for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And today is the day that we do our random question 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Cheyenne, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, you can answer this one. We'll start out with a bang. What would you say is the grossest thing that you have ever touched or has been on you?
Let's see. Probably, as weird as it sounds, there's that fruit called Barian that doesn't seem like a fruit would be that gross, but it stinks so bad.
We keep hearing about it. We hear that it stinks. It's what is it, Korean, I believe, or something like that. But yeah, the durian fruit. What is the best way you can explain the smell of the fruit? Because all we hear is that it smells awful.
I mean, quite honestly, it's what I would imagine a rotting corpse smells like.
I mean, if that's what comes to mind, that's not a good sign.
But is the taste that good that you can overcome this? So you're fighting through the smell because the taste of the fruit is so good?
I've been there before.
I think that's what a lot of people do, because I hear culturally they put it on everything.
Really? Okay. All right. But did you taste it?
No, I couldn't. I personally couldn't handle the smell enough to even try to taste it.
Okay, but after you touched it, did the stink stay on you?
Yeah, I had to wash what I was wearing, I think twice.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've read stories about people bringing them onto flights, right, on a carry-on bag or something, and they basically could not identify the smell within the cabin that was causing everyone to have just a very bad flight. So they made an emergency landing somewhere. And everyone got off the plane. And, of course, they took the carry-on. And when they realized the person who took the carry-on went to the airport, they went, this is the person that smells.
Right.
And then they were able to figure out that they had that fruit in their bag. But they diverted the plane. I don't know if they changed planes.
It's that bad.
But you know that the person who has the durian fruit knew damn well that they're the one responsible for everyone else having a hard time.
I've never seen it. I've never heard of anyone saying that they had it here.
No.
But I also think if you grow up eating it and you take it, like, sometimes you don't notice the smell.
Yeah, you go nose blind, right?
Also, isn't fruit one of those no-goes for...
Fruits and veggies usually are a no-go for traveling to other
internationally,
countries.
yeah. You can't do that.
But you can't even leave a country with it, can you? I mean, it definitely won't let you in, but it seems like if I had a durian fruit, they're like, look, man, they're not going to let you in to wherever you're going.
They'll take a banana, they'll take an apple out of your bag when you're flying internationally. They'll also do the same thing in Hawaii. They don't want your crap there. As far as just messing up the native habitat.
If you're leaving somewhere where people eat it, I don't know that the security there is going to care. That's not their problem.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. By the way, Cheyenne, why were you around durian fruit? What was the situation?
Well, basically, I was in back when I was living in Portland. People like some of my in-laws when I was married, they brought it back from like an Asian market or something. And,
so you can buy it here. Okay.
Yeah. And they thought it would be a good idea to try to prank each other with it in my apartment, which I was, much to my chagrin, I'll say it that way.
Yeah. I went into a couple Korean and Asian grocery stores in Portland, and it's, man, you can get lost in there. There's so much stuff.
Oh, yeah. And most of it is pretty good. Somebody here says, durian fruit smells like rotten flesh. The Try channel on YouTube has done it in various forms several times. Those are the real-life reactions. But basically, they're just saying it.
Did they like it?
I guess it depends on the person who's doing it. Someone else says durian is god-awful. And someone says, Southeast Asia, you dumb. Not Korea. Well, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
So I said, is it Korea? Not, it is Korea.
I think the two grossest things I've ever had on me, leeches being one. But to be honest with you, I could not feel them.
But you can see
they
them.
were on me, and I could not get them off of me. But it was not like I got stung by a bee yesterday, man. It still burns and stings. So I'm going to say the worst
Bumblebee?
I don't know what the hell he was. It was on my shirt. I killed him. I had to take the stinger out of me. That sucked. Poison oak.
Oh, God, that's right.
I think that's the worst thing I've ever touched. Just based on the length of time after the fact that it took to heal. And
where it was.
Stop
right?
it burning and all that. I think that's probably number one as far as, man, if I could never touch that again or have that touch me, I would probably put that at the top of the list. Poison ivy's one thing. I get that. This stuff just spreads more.
That's sort of like poison oak is so much worse.
And it hurts more.
Right. Poison ivy, I don't know anyone's in pain. You're just itchy and uncomfortable.
Race Mass, what's the grossest thing you've ever touched? This is an interesting story, to say the least. A video has captured the moment that a tourist defecated on a passed-out holidaymaker's face as he was sleeping at a Spanish resort. The footage of the prank showed the Dutch tourist pulling down his shorts. This must be a Dutch move. And crouching over his sleeping victim on the promenade at El Arnal. A youngster filming the clip was chuckling behind the camera as his pal emptied his bowels on the man's cheek in a two-step sequence. It is believed the video was taken in the early morning sometime last week. Social media users have shared the clip online with a caption in Dutch, which reads, "This is the sickest thing I've ever seen." Disgusted locals have now slammed larger, swilling Dutch and German tourists who visit the holiday resort every summer by branding them as drunk, drugged, and aggressive.
It's vacation.
One of the neighbors there said, "This is what happens here. These are very wild people. They're very drunk, drugged, and full of brutal aggressiveness. They're like the mafia as far as we're concerned."
I don't think that the mob went around defecating on sleeping people. I don't think that was part of their MO.
Last month, the same association complained that German tourists were jetting to the area for a quickie alcohol-fueled break, anywhere between 24 and 72 hours, and sleeping on the beach rather than spending money on hotels.
Come on.
This year has been the worst because the season is longer. So now the season is lasting from March until October, with the tourists coming down in that window.
Where is it again?
This is
Spain, was it?
Yeah, it's in Spain.
All right, I mean, that adds up.
And one more on that.
Like you pass out outside, and look, people might draw. Listen, we've all passed out, say, at a party or something. They wrote penis on your forehead or drew a Hitler stash. No one has ever defecated on it.
No. I'm not talking about crapping on somebody. That's awful. I'm saying it adds up that these Dutch and German people are just going over there to rage for like a 2-day weekend, and then they're like,
But Spain also their resorts kind of advertise that, right? It's like Vegas. You rarely hear people that work in Vegas complain about people that go there because you're encouraging them to act like fools, right? So a lot of these things with these Spanish resorts are like, hey, come here and throw down. And then people do, and they're like, we really wish you wouldn't.
Well, traditionally,
you kind of advertise.
I mean, I think with Vegas, it's different because there's the Strip.
Sure.
And like Ibiza is like, hey, come go crazy. But I know Barcelona was one of the first cities that had a massive issue with Airbnb because the residents were like, people are just treating it like a, you know what I mean? Like they're just partying. It's like, this is a neighborhood.
But they're in your hood, yeah. Okay.
And what's one of the funner things to do if you live in small town America? You head to the lake, you head to the river, you head to the local pool. Yeah. We have a crappy situation here in Kansas where a pool has been shut down at the Olathe Community Center. It was shut down on Saturday. Quote, due to a fecal incident this evening, the leisure pool, the Riverwalk, the zero depth area, and all of the slides will be unavailable Saturday, July 29th.
Damn. How big is your fecal incident that you have to close down?
To allow for proper disinfection and the protection of swimmer health. They said the lap pool was unaffected and still available.
Not the crap pool.
For use on Saturday. But the leisure pool, the Riverwalk, the zero depth area, and all the slides had to be cleaned.
Basically, a kid crapped.
Yeah, everywhere.
Right. And you know that they're just cycling that water between everything. The slides get the same water as whatever pool in the lazy river and all that. So I guarantee you he messed it up. I don't think there was much solid when it came to that, and it just got infected in the water.
Is there I want to say the Associated Press used to do this years ago. So there are certain terms you use for certain things that happen, even though, like, if you go to the doctor.
Code Brown.
The doctor will talk about your penis. If that's what you don't call it your penis, call it your D, right? That kind of stuff. So a fecal incident.
A fecal incident.
Can't they just say somebody pooped in the pool? Because that's what 100% of people would say. All of us in regular conversation just say, hey, man, so-and-so pooped in the pool. We don't call it, just say that.
The Baby Ruth incident.
Right, just say it.
Baby Ruth.
Like, if I had to explain it to my kid, Dad, what's a fecal incident? Somebody pooped in the water, dog.
That's what your sister does.
I will say this, though.
No, she has fecal incidents.
Yes.
So the lap pool's open.
Yes.
Right? Everything else is closed down. So I'm like, all right, it's got to be a kid.
More than likely.
And then I will say this, though. I think if I was there, I'd prefer they just said there was an incident instead of being like, 3 kids had diarrhea all over the pool.
Really?
Because somehow I feel like if you scooped out just one poop, I'm like, all right, we can get back in that pool after they clean it. But if you're like, a kid had diarrhea in here, I'd be like, we're leaving.
Well, I think I think to be honest with you, I always struggle with this one. But to give a kid a swimmy pull-up to wear underneath their bathing suit.
Why are you putting them in the water with other people?
That encourages them to use the bathroom in their pants if they can, because they can. If they had to sit down and go to the bathroom, if they did not have that on, they would have enough wherewithal to think to themselves, okay, I need to go poop, right? But now that I have a pull up on, because maybe I use the bathroom in a nightie or a pull up when I go to bed or whatever the deal is.
But that's the double-edged sword, like, because the kid is already used to wearing the diaper. Like, I hear what you're saying. Like, maybe don't put them in the water. But if they could already exercise the self-control to not poop themselves in the pool, or, I'm sorry, have a fecal incident at the pool, then they wouldn't need it in the first place. So I'm like, I kind of get the double-edged sword. Like, you're putting this on your kid, because I feel like as an adult, what you're saying is, if he doesn't have it on, it's going to be worse.
I told you we should have waited the 20 minutes.
Right. The nappy might hide the fact that the kid has diarrhea, so you discover as a parent later, you don't have to tell anybody. If he's not wearing that thing, you're brown splashing.
Maybe they proved that 20-minute thing not to be true. Well, he pooped all over the pool, didn't he? Random question. More of your calls coming up, 206-803-ROCK. It is random question, 206-803-ROCK.
The first question you asked, our buddy Cheyenne called in, said, grossest thing you had to touch. Turns out for him, it was durian fruit. Someone else says, I'm not even sure what I touched, but back in the day, I had a job as a hotel maintenance guy. The grease traps had to be cleaned constantly, and no matter how many times you tell the kitchen staff not to pour grease down the drain, they would still pour grease down the drain. Well, one time, I was away for the weekend. 2 of the other guys called out, and I rolled in to find an overflowing grease trap that was stinking up the entire hotel. I started to clean out the trap, but I stopped when I touched/felt something moving. I saw something that looked like something out of the X-Files. Looked like a long, gray, flat worm. Can tapeworms live outside of the body? Don't know. Don't queer. I quit the next week. Ew. That is so gross, man. Nothing should be living in the grease trap. The grease trap's already gross enough. But if you told me...
how many times, depending on the restaurant and what you're making, do you need to clean that out?
I mean, depending on the size of your restaurant, man, you would hope about once a week, but most places don't. I mean, to be honest, it's a pain. It's a pain in the ass.
So why isn't anyone built a better machine, so to speak?
Because it just is what it is.
It's just because it's great.
It just is what it is. And it's about as efficient as it can be, but it's like a toilet, right? You go like, look, they work fine, but you still drop turds in it. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, you try to do it once a week. And part of the reason it does not get cleaned as much as it's supposed to is the truth. Because it's on the kitchen staff. If you pay money to an outside group, they'll come in and do it, but like it costs money. So typically, they'll tell the staff, like, within 2 days, hey, tomorrow after the shift, your long-ass shift, all right, you got to clean the grease trap. And if there's a day you want to call in sick, that is the day. Damn.
Random.
Not that I would do that.
Yeah, right.
Hello, Zachary. Welcome to the men's room. Boom. Oh, boy.
Zachary, I think your phone's on a screwy mode there. Say something else.
Can you hear me now? We can kind of hear you, but unless you actually sound like this when you talk, I think your phone might be messing with your mojo.
Zachary, call us back, man.
Yeah, just call us right back, man. Sounds like you're talking to an old blues player.
Exactly.
Can you guys hear me? Mm-hmm. Check me out later tonight.
In the meantime, hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Jess, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Let's give this one to you, Jess. What would you say is your favorite amusement park ride? The one that you like the most, whether you're a roller coaster person or you like the ones that spin around. What's your favorite amusement ride?
Ooh, okay. So, my very first job when I was a teenager, I wasn't even able to work 40 hours because I was just about 16. I worked at Wild Waves in Federal Way.
Okay.
All right. And so they had like the speed slide. They had all these really cool, like they had the I-5 skydive. I don't think it's there anymore. I haven't been there in quite some time.
What was the I-5 skydive?
So it's like this bungee jump thing where they put you in a harness and then they reel you up to, I never actually did it because it looks terrifying. But they raise you up on, or I think maybe you have to climb up the thing and then they put you in the bungee deal, but they basically drop you and you go bungeeing all the way up. And, but as far as the amusement park rides, I would say the speed slide they used to have, and it was like a straight drop. And this is years and years ago, but they had one of those little, those things where they, like, cops can be like, oh, you were speeding or whatever. They had one of those at the end of the slide.
The radar? Yeah, the speed gun, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That slide was terrifying.
You go fast
my
on
favorite
those.
one.
It's almost like your back is not touching the slide.
Well, what was the average speed that people were zipping down this thing?
I want to say like 75, maybe closer to 80 miles an hour. I mean, it's a straight drop. I don't know if you guys went back there back in, oh goodness, I'm trying to think now how long ago. I'm 38 now, and I worked there when I was 15. So as far as the math goes, I know that slide's not there anymore, but when you go down, yeah, it's terrifying.
Every time I drive by it, I think about going in there.
Wild Waves?
Yeah, I'm like, well, it's open right now. It's the middle of the summertime. Yeah. They have roller coasters. Man, I'm a sucker.
Do they have roller coasters?
Yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for bumper cars. I know that they're not the most exciting thing in the world, but
bumper cars?
Just because I like tearing down my kids.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fun. I mean, I always do it as a family thing, so I'm just trying to jam one of my family members as hard as I can.
I mean, of course you are. The problem is all those other people, and then there's little kids that can't drive them well.
Yeah.
Which used to be me as a little kid. I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for roller coasters for sure. And if you have go-kart tracks, I will be on that instantly.
Go-karts are awesome.
Also, even though they're not as fast and fun as the... No, I like the log jammer.
Those are cool.
Yeah, log rides are great. I mean, they're not the highest, but just like floating along for a while before you take the big drop and everybody gets a little bit wet. I don't know. I think they're fun.
All right, but these are all standard stuff. So if I go to... Miles, you did what? Disneyland fairly recently?
Yeah.
What would be the one
adventure
ride?
They have a great...
you said the Cars thing. You said the Cars, whatever.
That was an awesome ride. There's nothing like that.
Is it fast or is it just cool?
It feels fast.
All right.
It does feel fast. They have a great roller coaster there. It's a smaller one, but it's the one at California Adventure, and it's tried and true, man. It's fun.
Okay.
It doesn't look like much when you look at it, but when you get on that ride, you're like, oh, man, here we go.
I think most roller coasters, you get that. You go like, it doesn't look that scary. Then when you're making that first trek up.
Space Mountain, for my taste, is still pretty damn fun.
I did it when that thing, I was a super little kid. I did not know what I was getting into. This is the one in Disneyland. I didn't realize it was going to be dark. Put it this way. I was in the same car as my father. He's not a roller coaster guy, so he did not bring me any kind of comfort at all. Because when I look up at him, because you want your dad to protect you, he looked more terrified than I did. I'm like, we're going to die.
Think about Disney. They're just on such a different level as far as their rides. Like that Soar ride, you're just sitting down.
Soarin' is great.
But, when I think of a ride, I think about something that's a mechanical thing. And this is mechanical. It's just
but you're not physically moving, right?
But it's no different. You feel like you are.
Yeah.
So that's such a different experience, I think, when you're riding some of those rides.
I mean, Universal. Like, I'm a Disney fan, but, like, when you go to Disney World, like, don't get me wrong, MGM Studios has, like, the Tower of Terror.
Sure.
And the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster, which are fun.
You told me that was great.
It is. But Universal, they have a ton of crazy rides, right? Because you got, like, the
Back to the Future.
Batman, you got, like, Superman stuff where you're...
Superman, the roller coaster, you're kind of laying down flying.
Or maybe so, like, Six Flags and Universal, to me, always had, like, bigger, badder rides.
Yeah.
But there's a few that are good. I mean, I don't know. Any roller coaster you kind of get on that has... dips and stuff is always going to be fun.
And then those amusement parks are technically known as roller coaster capitals of the world.
Yes.
So if you go to a Busch Gardens, they're going to have 5 or 6 major roller coasters.
Love it.
If you go to Cedar Point or any of those places in Ohio,
yeah,
I mean those are roller coaster parks. I'm not saying they don't have some of the new cooler rides, but as far as just like the old tried and true, that stuff. And I'll tell you what, oftentimes, even like not the Washington State Fair as much because it's kind of on a smaller scale. But when you get on an old, rickety wooden roller coaster that's been there for a while...
Well, the danger feels real.
Because they just put they just clip you in with a little chain, and you're on a park bench, and, I mean, you're sliding back and forth, and I know it's been there since 1920. That is not a reassurance to me.
That's what I mean.
Because the wood looks the same age.
It feels more terrifying because
you're rattling.
This is not
creaking.
Scary by design, right? The other one, I got 18 loops. Like, wait, that's scary by design. Good on it. The old wooden one, like... No, it's scary because it is.
Right.
Because at any moment, this thing's going to fall the hell apart.
I mean, the first, loop I went through was at the end of the boardwalk at Ocean City.
Oh, yeah?
There's, a smaller roller coaster, but it has, one giant loop.
Did that at Astral World in Houston years ago. I was terrified to get on there. My brother basically guilted me into it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I was the same way. I had been to the beach plenty of times with my family.
Right.
And I was too scared to go on it. Then our neighbor, who was a fireman... He said, hey, his kids were littler than I was. I'm like 12 or something. He's like, I'm going to take them down there. Do you want to come down there and hang out? I said, sure. But it was just me and him. The other kids were too small. And he's like, come on, don't be scared. We're getting on this thing.
One of the greatest days of my summertime was when my parents would take me to Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And they have 3 or 4 of those old wooden roller coasters that have been there from the existence. They have the Thunderbolt. They have the Jackrabbit. They have the Racers. Jackrabbit, you do feel like you're leaving your seat. But again, a little chain.
Right, it's just that little strip in front of you.
Covering your lap. So the terror is in the age of these roller coasters.
Nothing to do with the design.
They have some new ones, but yeah. Reese, we asked, what is your favorite amusement ride? A ride in New York malfunctioned last weekend. That's fun, but it wouldn't stop. It happened at a place called Playland Park just outside of New York City. The ride is called the Music Express. It's common at fairs and carnivals. You go in a circle, forward or reverse. It's got kind of sometimes they call it like a sled or whatever.
Sure.
Usually with music blaring. It got stuck going backwards at full speed. Then the emergency shutoff did not work. So maintenance workers eventually stopped it.
No.
They had to pull the plug and disconnect the power. Now, the ride usually lasts 2 to 3 minutes, but went at least twice that long. A few reports said over 10 minutes, whatever it was. One guy said it felt like an eternity. Kids were crying. Parents were upset. Luckily, no one got hurt. The park blamed it on an electrical malfunction. They shut the ride down and reached out to the manufacturer to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
When your emergency stop doesn't work, call it something else.
What's this manufacturer doing? How many of these is he pumping out a year?
What do you mean, the emergency stop?
We contacted the manufacturer. I mean, how many are you making a year of these things?
Right.
Are you making 1? Are you making 2? Like, what's the market for this ride? Who's buying it? I need to know. I'm just saying.
Hey, you got to wonder, right?
I understand the Ferris wheel aspect of things because that seems the way the cities are going on their skies.
But I mean, there's roller coasters all over the world.
Yeah.
This is just the one that spins around.
Right.
But I'm just saying, there's so many parks just in the States. I imagine if you're working on that maintenance, there's got to be thousands of those things all over the place.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, is there just one place in the world that does this?
That does that particular ride?
Exactly. It's like fireworks. If you're getting some big fireworks, more than likely they're not from the United States of America.
Right.
They're going to be manufactured somewhere else. So I'm just saying, is there one shop somewhere in the middle of nowhere that makes this one particular ride? Because I'd have to think it's like there used to be an accordion store on 45th of Wallingford. And I'd walk by it all the time, and I think well,
the key is used to be.
Right. But it'd been there for 50, 60 years. And I'm thinking to myself, who's just walking down the street? Ooh, an accordion store.
Musicians, welcome to...
Man, if I want to get some pee, this is the way to go for me. If I can play that
accordion center.
If I can play that thing, I'll have ass falling from the trees. I mean, who thought I'm walking in here just to see if this is something that I want to pick
up? I'm just browsing today, man.
And if you are a national touring accordionist, which I don't even know...
Accordionist?
Where the hell walk of life you come from.
Right.
Weird Al could play it.
If you need
he
to go...
Play it,
I know that, but what happened? Okay, he drops one at the Paramount. All right, then I can call this guy. Other than that, maybe he can repair it in time for the show.
I understand a music store would offer a small smattering of accordions, but I can.
They have an extensive
But if you
collection
came to me
there.
and said, no, man, we're taking it one step further. We got 12,000 square feet, nothing but accordions.
This was the place. I'm telling you. So I'm saying it's the same thing. It's like the eye patch store in Reno, Nevada.
Well, they have a clientele.
But
that's the difference.
Right.
You can go to Reno and identify why you need an eye patch store.
We contacted the manufacturer. Okay, are they up on a Saturday afternoon? Oh, yeah, man. We can help you with that. I mean, who the hell are you calling?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a carny ride.
I mean, I'm sure they get busy around Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Oh, the accordion shop?
Yeah.
That has to be... Is there one other time of the year where the accordion kind of rears its head?
I mean, that is. So, for years... My father contended that he could play the accordion.
Okay.
Now, this was a simple thing to brag about because people, like Miles was saying, people don't have accordions around their house.
Yeah, you say piano, guitar, anything like that, they can nail you.
So, I'm a little kid. We're up in Cape Cod. My grandparents have bought a house. My Uncle Phil shows up, and he has this ass-eating grin from ear to ear. And he starts yelling for my dad, and he's like, get out here. And he gathers the whole family, all the grandkids around, and he's like, Eddie, good news. Went to a yard sale today. Found an accordion. Play it.
Look at this.
And did he?
No, he couldn't play it.
Right.
Why was he bragging that he could play the accordion?
Because he lied about it. He'd been lying about it for so many years. I think he convinced himself
that he actually knows how to play.
Right. Then he was like, no, I can't. I played it in the Army or whatever. But there was no backing proof, and nobody, again, people don't have accordions. So you can never call him out on it. But when Phil found that one, and he paid like $50 for it.
Just to see?
Just to see.
That's what I believe. If you can play the accordion, I believe you also own one.
What did your dad do?
Because it's not like...
Oh, he tried to fake it.
Come on, good luck.
In his defense, I would say he probably had held one before.
Okay.
But that's about it. It's like me picking up a guitar. I can hold it. I can almost look like I'm tuning it.
But you
I
can't fake
play
it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here you go. Founded in 1922 by Italian native Carlo Patosa. The company called Seattle home for 95 years. The Patosa
95
Accordion
years?
Company, the only American-owned accordion manufacturer. Believe it or not, they moved from Seattle in 2018 from their Wallingford location.
To where?
Well, the accordion capital of the world.
Hold on.
Linwood, Washington. So after 95 years, now I'm an employee at the accordion store.
Correct.
It's one of the only American-owned accordion manufacturers in the United States of America.
Which seems very, very believable.
Weird Al comes to town for 2 nights at the Paramount. Am I just waiting for him to walk through? Who in the hell else is going to come through the door? And who else is going to spend that kind of money?
No one.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, look, there's polka bands and all that, but again, you probably already own your instrument, and on the off chance something happens to yours, yes, the accordion store, well, now it makes sense. But
Well, they make the damn things, so no wonder. They moved to Linwood in 2018 after squeezing down to make room for a martial arts shop, and more recently, Comics Dungeon. They folded up their Wallingford shop and moved to Linwood.
Somebody here says, my uncle plays accordion. He owns like 4 of them.
Huh.
There you go.
We should get one of these accordion people for an interview. Look, man, you're the only place, in the U.S. that makes your own accordions. And frankly, I know a lot of people that play a lot of different instruments. Not one of them plays the accordion.
Here you go. Here's the funny. Former Nirvana band member and accordionist Chris Novoselic.
Oh, right.
He stopped by Patosa's showroom occasionally. 2014, he was the first accordionist inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When he got in, September 1st, 2018, he opened a concert for Nirvana bandmate David Grohl of Foo Fighters and brought down the house playing his Patosa accordion.
Look, no offense to our friend Chris, but listen. Of course, you're the first accordion player to be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It reminds me when I was growing up, who's the singer from Jethro Tull, Ian something?
Ian Anderson.
Ian Anderson, year after year, was voted the best flautist in rock. Like, great, because you're the only dude that plays a goddamn flute in a rock band, bro. That's why. Yeah, seriously. So, like, hey, I'm the first accordion. No. You're the only accordion player.
I stopped dead in my tracks. Now, granted, I'd had a couple beers at Kate's Pub next door, but I still just stopped and went, "What the f is this?" And now I'm in the window looking like all these different because they're beautiful. I mean,
I'm sure
the craftsmanship and the quality on these things and the pearl inlays and all the different things.
What kind of price are we talking?
I don't know.
If you go into buy an accordion,
I'm not walking in.
Dude, you should have walked in.
They got to be hundreds of dollars. That's a specific instrument.
100? You think maybe thousands?
I think thousands.
I really don't know. I have no idea what the price of an accordion is.
I bet it's at least $1,000. I mean, you could probably buy a used one.
I'm sure. Well, somebody here says, I just drove past the accordion store in Linwood.
See, they moved. They're still open. 3 generations, they say.
I say we go up there one day.
Or family members.
Did you guys give lessons? I don't play the accordion. I don't know anyone who plays the accordion. Hook me up a lesson.
There's a YouTube channel. Somebody's got
teach myself to play accordion.
Yep.
You think it's a young person? You think it's one of those?
The problem
I'm glad that you've turned into my YouTube channel.
What do you play? What is the standard accordion song?
Well, you can play anything on it.
I mean, right.
It just sounds like it's being played on an accordion.
So you're playing. You can play the lead vocals. You can
play anything you want.
All the stuff. All right.
But I want to say polka music is the only one I can think. Or maybe if you're doing Zydeco, if you're in New Orleans,
okay, all right.
Then you can play accordion, and people don't even laugh at you.
Yeah.
But they play anything as an instrument. I'll play the washboard.
I bet it's not that easy to find an accordion player, even in New Orleans.
No.
You put a flyer
I disagree.
up. No, yeah.
I'd say of all the places outside of Pittsburgh, I would say
because of the
New
polka
Orleans.
scene?
Yes. The big Pittsburgh polka scene.
Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, stuff like that, you'll find it because of polka. But you're right. In New Orleans.
You're playing
So is it Polish or is it German? Or is it Italian based on this guy? I don't know. Somewhere in that area.
I don't know. By the way, it says
is it Bavarian, I guess?
$500 to $600 for a new entry level one.
Oh, entry level.
But if you want like a top of the line, specific custom made, you're talking like 15 G's.
Wow.
$15,000 for an accordion.
Yeah.
Somebody here says you need an accordionist for Live Day. You know what? I'm right there with you. 10 songs, we can do a sit and spin and have them do it.
You can't find the guy.
There's someone who listens to this show
cannot find the guy.
Plays the accordion.
Well, he's going to be
the guy in the one man band. Wasn't he already playing an accordion?
Was it an accordion or was it one of those things where you create like 4 instruments out of one?
I don't know. I just feel like part of it was an accordion.
I'd say we got to get Ryan Castle. We demand an accordion player for Live Day.
Ryan. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hi, this is Tom Borthwick, the Diamond King. We have a huge selection in store, 10 times most places in Whatcom County. We have over 100 certified large diamonds in stock. We have trained staff that went to jewelry school. We offer huge discounts all the time, every day. We have 3 jewelers in our store. We want you to save time. We gift wrap everything and treat you kindly with knowledge. Thank you for shopping a family-owned small business that supports 9 families. We donate to over 50 charities per year. Thank you for being our customer, Borthwick Jewelry.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
KISW, various place doing for some good there with Kicks for Kids. $50 buys a pair of sneakers for a child in need. $100 buys a pair of sneakers for a teenager. Goal, $20,000. Various place, they have over 400 kids of all ages staying in the shelter. They're going back to school. We're going to give them the confidence they need to walk the halls and feel good about themselves with a brand new pair of shoes. Donate now if you can at KISW.com. All right, it's our random question, 206-803-ROCK.
You're talking about your accordion shop. Used to be in Wallingford. It's since moved to what? Linwood.
Linwood, accordion capital of the world.
So really, who the hell plays accordion? Well, everyone's letting us know. Guys, there's a lot of punk bands, good point, they use accordions. Dropkick Murphys, even NoFX, Irish folk bands. You'd be surprised how many bands have one. Good point. A lot of Mexican music incorporates the accordion. Someone else, there's a lot of accordion players in the Jewish community that play klezmer music. My dad can play the accordion. He used to have a couple, and when he died, grabbed it, but my wife won't let me practice, which makes it harder to learn. Your wife won't let you practice the accordion? Come on, man.
What about for parties and stuff?
I mean, yeah, basically.
Who's going to entertain
here? A lot of people.
So basically, it's a European instrument.
Let's see. Somebody.
But it shows up in a lot of places. Like our buddy Todd just texted me. He's like, "Yeah, it shows up in like Texas and country music."
Yeah, somebody here says all my friends from Mexico not only own accordions, they actually play them. I don't like this guy. I don't play the accordion, but for obscure music instruments, I use the Appalachian dulcimer.
Ooh, I know how to play one of those. Well, I learned how to play one of those.
Where would I hear that?
What is a dulcimer?
A dulcimer is essentially a lap, but not a steel guitar. So you're playing a smaller version of a stringed instrument.
Does it use a hammer?
No, you're playing with
his fingers.
Yeah, you're playing with your fingers.
All right.
And you slide back and forth like you would a slide. You might be able to use a slide on that. It just doesn't have the same sustain.
So wait, you can play the dulcimer.
You learned it in school. Mm-hmm. So you learn basic notes and where things were. I don't know if I could pick up and know where they are, but it's just very similar to learning the notes on a neck of a guitar.
Okay, now here's one. All right, so people play the accordion, fine. People play the dulcimer, I understand that. The harpsichord. Remember in elementary school, the teacher broke out that weird kind of...
That was another thing that we learned to play.
We all did. And I'm
with a door stopper.
But I don't know anyone other than music teachers in elementary school who play it.
Like symphonies.
I don't know that they have a harpsichord, and they might.
I mean, that's the only place I've ever seen.
Well, it was never in any bands. So, like the school band, you didn't have somebody who played it.
No.
It was basically just for the teacher who came in once every 2 weeks or 1 week.
Right, you sat down and learned to play this.
Ours was like art once a week and then music once a week as well. So those two classes, you had one art class, you had one music class, and next week you'd...
But that's the only time I used it. It was like 2nd through 5th grade.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we had traveling art teachers and music teachers who would go from school to school.
Brought my harpsichord.
Yeah, I spend one day at your school and head on out someplace else.
And somebody here says the most hated instrument, the bagpipes, and the accordion comes in second place.
I hate the bagpipes. The accordion to me is something that it tends to be happier music. So it's not
if
like
you listen to like Mexican music or some Irish folk,
polka.
But I feel like it can also take things down and make it sadder. If you choose to be a sad accordion player.
Well, if you look at the guy playing it, yeah.
Random.
Hello, Zachary. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Zachary, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's go with this one. What happened while you were camping, or what happened in the great outdoors?
Oh, man. So this one time, my mom actually ran home and watched Oprah because a bear came to our tent.
So she went home, she just left?
She just left all of us. Right there at the campsite. We were at Crystal Lake. It was kind of funny looking back on it, but yeah.
How old were you when your mom basically abandoned you because there's a bear?
8.
And did you have any brothers or sisters with you?
2.
Did you have your dad with you?
No, he was working in the factory.
So wait.
She just left
Explain
the kids?
to me. So you guys were camping. You said a bear came through your tent?
Yes.
And she just got up and rolled out?
Oh, hell yeah.
And how long were you guys out there alone with a bear before she or someone came to pick you guys up?
About like 2 hours. Park ranger came on by. And it was all right, though.
Now, were you guys freaked out knowing, all right, a bear ran through the tent, our mom just abandoned us? I mean, like, what is your state of mind at 8 years old?
Wow, this is Yogi Bear, kind of. Like, I can't explain it too well. I was kind of just like, huh.
Okay.
This is going on.
Did your mom get in trouble for abandoning her children?
No.
All right, where did this happen? You said Crescent Lake? Crystal Lake. All right. Man, those are different times.
Yeah.
What kind of bear was it, by the way?
Oh, just a little black bear.
All right, okay.
And she immediately left. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this.
Oh, yeah, no, she ran to the Yukon, got him there, drove home, and, yeah, I was just kind of there with my brother and sister. Like,
did you find it odd that your mom left you and there's a bear in the campground?
No.
Okay, so this is just a normal thing that your mom would do.
Yeah, not the best mom, but still love her to death.
All right.
No, we get it, man.
It doesn't sound
you love
like
the
it.
mom.
No.
I mean, listen, I've been honest with my kids. Like, look, if you can outrun me, that's great. But at least if I get to the car, I'll wait for you.
No, I'm not leaving my kids at a campground at a park, and then they're nowhere close to home
because there's a bear.
Yeah, I mean, that's bad leaving them, period, much less, there's a bear, I'm scared.
I mean, I wouldn't even leave them at the mall for 2-3 hours. And at that age, not at 8 years old, maybe 13, 12 years old, I will.
Especially if you perceive something as a threat. Like, I might leave them at the mall, but if they said, there's an active shooter at the mall, I would not roll out and leave them there.
The mom peels out.
God damn, man.
Reason we asked what's the craziest thing that happened while you were camping or in the outdoors. An 8-year-old camping with her mom at Lake Angeles in Washington State was attacked by a mountain lion in what officials are calling an extraordinary rare incident on Saturday. Pair were in the heart of the hills area, a little bit south of Port Angeles, in Olympic National Park, where the attack took place. After the child's mother yelled at the cougar, the animal casually abandoned its attack.
So wait, the mom stayed and did something?
She yelled at the animal because it was attacking her 8-year-old.
Nice.
Oh, another 8-year-old. What do you know?
Park personnel responded and took the child, who suffered minor injuries, to a hospital for evaluation. Campers, by the way, were evacuated, and 2 nearby areas were closed until further notice, and I believe those areas are still closed. And wildlife personnel are searching for the animal involved. If it is found, it will be euthanized and a necropsy will be performed. This may provide clues as to why the animal attacked, since cougars are rarely seen and attacks on humans are extraordinarily rare.
It doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
The public information officer for the park echoes that almost never happens. It's a sign of a very, very unusually behaved animal. Indeed, the national park is cougar territory. Humans rarely see the mountain lions. If they do, they're advised to make a lot of noise, try to appear large, and fight back if attacked. I don't know if you've ever been attacked.
In other words, act like you're from New Jersey.
Have you ever been attacked by your own house cat before, man? If they ever just sunk their claws into you or tried to bite you?
Not my current
that's
one.
That's painful
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, no, and the weird thing is, you look at your house cat, right? Just watch the way it moves, what it does, how it cleans itself. And then you go to the zoo and you look at a tiger or a lion and you realize, they are exactly the same. My cat only hasn't killed me because it can't, but their mannerisms are the same, how they play is the same. My cat's a little killer.
I mean, that's the whole thing, right? If the house cat was bigger, it would kill it.
It would.
Yeah, little murders. That's kind of what I like about it. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Steve, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What would you say in your life is the most dangerous thing you do or have done just for fun? Where danger was definitely an element.
I don't know. I fish for a living, so I'd say that was probably the most dangerous and fun thing I've ever done.
Are you talking about fishing up in Alaska style?
Actually off the Pacific Ocean, so like Westport area, but I've fished from Kenai, Alaska, down to California or southern Mexico, California border.
Don't they say that Westport area, though, can have some of the most dangerous conditions as far as weather and in the ocean conditions?
Especially in the wintertime, considering the boats are a lot smaller than what they are in Alaska. Commercial crab fishing is pretty dangerous, but the worst situation I've been in is about 220 miles offshore on a commercial tuna boat. We got into 60-foot seas, and that was
what is that like to see that wall of water? Do you just rise up within the wave? Or are you just nose deep into the waves?
Well, when it gets that big, a lot of them are just where you kind of just ride over the top. But every once in a while, if you hit where the wind is gusting, the top maybe 10 feet of that 60-foot swell will be breaking. And when they say 60-foot swell, you might that's an average. So the average swell height is 60 foot. You might see some 70, 80 footers with breakers on top. When you hit one of those breakers, that was the most intense. All you see is white water crashes down your bow, hits the windshield. It's like a washing machine. You go over the backside. And I
was going to say, the bow goes nose down, right?
It pushes on the bow, and the prop comes out, and the boat starts cavitating. So the whole boat starts just shaking up down like you're in a 7.0 earthquake going back, down the backside.
I can see why you're laughing. That sounds hilarious.
And I'm assuming
how long did that last? As you're going through this, because I'm assuming it's not 5 minutes. So how long are you?
No, I mean the storm was about 3 days, and there was probably maybe a 12-hour period where it was at its max. I don't know,
12 hours.
Since you're so far out, you don't try to come back in. You just try to ride it out and then see if you can fish.
Yeah, that was our boat was too slow to get out of it, and that far offshore, you don't even have communications with the Coast Guard. You're on your own at that point. So if anything happens to you, all you have is your EPIRB on the boat.
All right. So are you thinking to yourself, I'm going to die, or are you thinking we're going to get through this?
Well, it's kind of both. Like you're like, it's such a long deal. Like whenever you go to bunk down, you're kind of bunked down next to your survival suit and you're ready to put it on and, thinking about your steps of, okay, what am I going to do if things go sideways? Can I get to the life raft? Can I grab the EPIRB? The things that will save your life and.
How long does it take to put on the survival suit?
Well, if you're trained on it, you can do it in, probably 30 to 45 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Did you guys catch any tuna that trip?
Yeah, we got about 25 ton.
All right. So it was worth it, but I could not settle down. If that's 12 hours of going up and down, I would get sick. I would have a hard time keeping food down.
Yeah, I got land sickness when I got back.
And just standing on solid ground.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it took a couple days. It's like, whoa. So
it's almost like you're punch drunk by the time you get back.
Right, pretty much. Right.
Well, you just convinced me that I will never be part of the commercial fishing world. Not that it was part of my agenda, but hearing that, it's like, nah, dude, I don't need that.
Reason we asked what's the most dangerous thing you have done or do just for fun. A French man who is known for extreme sports is dead after falling off a 68-story residential building in Hong Kong. Remy Liciti was climbing the Tregunter Tower complex and fell, according to the South China Morning Post. He is known online as Remy Enigma and was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, according to officials, he arrived at the building about 6 o'clock in the evening. Told the security guard he was visiting a friend on the 40th floor. A security officer attempted to apprehend him after the alleged friend confirmed he didn't know the guy. Mm-hmm. But by that point in time, the stuntman had already secured an elevator. Now, security footage later shows him arriving on the 49th floor and then again taking the stairs up to the top of the building. According to those in pursuit, they found the hatch leading up to the roof open. He's nowhere in sight. Police say the man was last seen alive at 7:38 when he tapped on the window of the complex's penthouse, prompting a maid to call the police. Now, the source, which has not been identified, said the police believed that he was trapped outside of the penthouse and was banging on the window for help before the unfortunate accident. A source close to the incident revealed the police found his camera at the scene and it contained videos of his other death-defying acts. As you said, Steve, police have yet to issue an official cause of death.
He fell 68 stories.
I mean, they found his body, correct?
They did. That is correct.
So I'm like, maybe what other calls?
Maybe if they're looking for a cause, they're saying that a carabiner went bad, his harness went bad, maybe something as far as his equipment goes. Not
he doesn't use it.
Oh,
that's his whole thing, man. Pictures of him? He's on top of stuff just up there.
He's a free climber.
Yeah, this dude has a selfie stick in his phone. That's it. That's what and that's why what he had done up until
maybe
this
his selfie stick malfunction.
Anything. I mean, but you don't have an official cause of death. Well, he fell 700 freaking feet on the asphalt, guys.
Even if you're right, even if you're rock climbing and something goes wrong, but your cause of death is still the fall.
Yeah, but they'll say something stupid, man. Turns out he had cocaine in the system. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what killed him, not the fall. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Actually, someone cleared it up. They say the guy who fell 68 floors died from sudden deacceleration syndrome.
Aha. Yes. Paul, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Let's see here. What do we got for you? All right. Let's
spin the wheel.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel of crap here. What do we got? Okay. All right. How about this one? What would you say is the dumbest thing, since we're talking about dangerous situations, the dumbest thing you've done as a challenge or a dare?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hood Canal, but there's they call it the Steel Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably about 500 feet up. Well, a buddy dared me when I was in a drunken stupor, dared me to climb underneath it and see how far I can go down. I made it about 20 feet and wrapped my legs around a tree, and it didn't turn out well.
Was that the beginning of where the cliff were to start? In other words, was there a drop-off of 60, 70 feet below you?
Oh, it was just straight down. There was no cliff or nothing. You climb underneath the bridge, and then all of a sudden you're looking down, and there's nothing.
That's a terrifying view from even just driving your car over there, as far as if you're afraid of heights like I am.
Oh, yeah, well, you can't drive your car over it, but, you know, you can walk over it and look down and throw rocks or whatever. But, yeah, no, a buddy of mine dared me to climb underneath it and see how far I can go down.
How did you get back up?
A rope.
Also, they did throw. Was that emergency people or your friends?
My friend.
Man, oh man! It's a good thing you had a rope on.
My friend had a rope, and so we were prepared. But I had a lot of liquor that day.
See, this is the problem with a dare, is that you're more likely to do it if you're drunk, but the worst time to do your average dare is when you're drunk.
Correct. What bridge did he say?
Correct.
Is it? I thought the Hood Canal Bridge was a floating bridge.
No, the Hood Canal Bridge is up in Mason County.
I'm getting my bridges confused.
Right. A Hood Canal Bridge is a floating bridge. That's what I was like, how'd you jump off it?
Most of it is.
The Hood Canal Bridge is... I see what you're saying there, Ted. But no, the Hood Canal Bridge is a floating bridge, but there's also another bridge called the Steel Gate Bridge.
Okay. All right.
Or the Steel Bridge is what they call it.
Gotcha.
And you can go out there, and it was an old railroad track, but they paved over it.
All right, that makes sense.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
That would how drunk were you? Scare the hell out of me. Reason we asked the dumbest thing you've done is on a challenge or a dare. A Chinese man turned up at the emergency room in a hospital with a screw base of a light bulb sticking out of his mouth. After trying one of the dumbest, they say, online challenges imaginable.
If you get the chance, look up the pictures of this guy.
Firefighters in China were confronted with one of the most bizarre rescue cases yet. A local man, referred to as only Mr. Chin, burst into their station and tried to explain something to them. However, the man's mouth was covered with a T-shirt, and instead of words, he only seemed able to utter muffled sounds. After removing the makeshift mask, the reason for the unusual speech became obvious. He had an LED light bulb sticking out of his mouth and was trying to get help removing it. Unfortunately, that proved too difficult a task even for the firemen. So after inspecting the man's mouth and assessing the situation, they decided that trying to yank out the glass light bulb, that's going to be too difficult, as it could cause serious damage to the man's mouth if the glass burst. So they took Mr. Chin to a nearby hospital. That's where a team of doctors realized that the man could not open his mouth wide enough to safely remove the light bulb.
Yeah, that's why he's there.
So instead, they used a special mouth opener. They dislocated his jaw on one side. And at that point, they were able to remove the glass bulb. After blowing a sigh of relief, Chin told doctors that he got the light bulb stuck in his mouth about 2 hours earlier. He had attempted to remove it himself, but couldn't open his mouth enough for the glass bulb to safely bypass by his teeth. He had trouble swallowing and speaking. That's when he went for professional help. As for the reason why he got the light bulb in his mouth in the first place, the middle-aged man casually said that he watched someone do it on an online video and wanted to see if he could too.
Middle-aged man.
Middle-aged man.
Yeah, and we worry about the kids. This fool has a light bulb stuck in his mouth.
You know what? I'll just put it in my mouth.
Kids, watch the... Oh, God!
More of the random question coming up. 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count of our categories. The hottest cities right now in the United States. And your favorite cities for barbecue. Do a little Your Guess is as good as mine coming after emails on a random question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Spencer. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Aloha, bichola.
Hola. Spencer, welcome to the program and the random question. All right. Spencer, what would you say, whether it was when you were younger or now, what is one of your favorite foods to snack on when you were intoxicated? What is some of your favorite drunk foods? Maybe that you either created or just the standby go-tos. Very rarely I've ever eaten a pizza roll sober.
That's a good point.
I think one of the best things I ever made when I was drunk was just a BLTA, but I mixed in hot wing sauce with the mayonnaise, and it was amazing.
That does sound good.
And when you're drunk, it's Yeah.
Now, do you fry up a package of bacon? Do you already have that on? Or are you using just like the kind that you throw in the microwave?
Oh, no, you can't use that stuff. That's gross, man. I'm a butcher. Don't use that.
Okay, good for you.
You as the butcher, if he's using microwavable bacon. My God.
Actually,
man.
Frank's hot sauce and mayonnaise just sounds good.
It really does.
That's the one.
Now, do you eat the same sandwich sober, or is this specifically a drunk go-to?
Well, I'm sober all the time now, so I'll do it sober.
Okay.
That doesn't sound that crazy, though. A BLT with hot sauce and your mayonnaise?
No, it doesn't sound crazy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when I get drunk now, man, typically, it's one of the beauties of having kids that if you do get drunk, they have the food that you want to eat. It's like, Miles, you brought up pizza rolls. I never bought pizza rolls for myself as an adult. The kids like pizza rolls. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm drunk, I open up the freezer and I'm like, if you raid the kids' stuff, it's great drunk food. Stuff that's good for kids is great for a drunk person. So, man, chicken nuggets, the pizza rolls,
and
little frozen pizzas.
Air fryer, man, 10 to 12 minutes and you're good.
Bam!
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
chewy bars.
Dude, no kidding. They have, what are they, like little Nutella stick things?
Oh, yeah.
Right, like, I would never buy that crap for me. It doesn't even cross my mind, but then the kids discover things they like, so we end up loading up on the stuff. And yeah, when I'm drunk or really stoned, like, whatever they have is the go-to stuff, man. I mean, down to the ice cream bars, you name it. I'm like, I'm in.
I got the strawberry spread. It's not really jam or jelly. It's a spread. Don't ask me.
Does it look creamy?
It's delicious. I bought it at PCC. I don't know what the hell it is. It's some organic crap, right? But it's just strawberry spread. So I buy this. And, of course, they're closing down the Bartell down here. So I bought a bunch of crap that was just kind of what was left on their shelf.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was on sale or anything, but I don't know why. I was like, I got to buy this before it's gone. So I bought a jar of Biscoff, which is the cookie but flavored butter spread that they make.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it, because there's like cookie butter, so it's kind of like the Biscoff butter.
It's cookie butter, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way, I made it with a toasted PB&J. So I toasted the bread.
So you used their butter, your strawberry spread.
But I did it on a toasted 2 pieces of bread.
Were you high or drunk?
I was drunk.
Okay. Really?
But it was great. I mean...
how can that miss?
Every once in a while, I forget how good a toasted peanut butter and jelly is. Because the regular one's fantastic already, but yeah. Reason we ask, what is your favorite drunk food? They say that feeling when you've had a little bit too much to drink, and suddenly you're hit with the hunger pangs. Those are are known as the drunchies.
The drunchies.
Drunchies. Okay. Only it's not your typical food craving. It's usually either something greasy, salty, or both that hits a spot. So they were curious. How do people deal with the drunchies? So to find out, they surveyed people across the United States and Canada who have at least one drink a week and probably more to ask them about what they eat when they're drunk and how often they crave them. The consequences of indulging in what foods they specifically turn to in order to satisfy those drunk cravings were also studied. So they basically did a Google Trends analysis of the most popular drunchy cravings by state and by province. Now, the top drunk food craving in the U.S. by far, that would be hamburgers. Yeah. 16 states reported that burgers were their go-to food after a night of drinking. Chicken wings, also favored by residents of 8 states. Grilled cheese and nachos were next, each being preferred to by 4 states. So chicken wings were number 1 in Washington, D.C. Grilled cheese is next, followed by nachos, pizzas, kebabs, quesadillas, and burritos. Most of the burgers were in Middle America. Now, some of the more unique selections, breakfast food, number 1 in Nevada. So if you're in Nevada,
not a bad call.
Probably because if you're out late, it's going to be past 2 o'clock.
Sure.
So you're talking 4 or 5 in the morning if you're doing one of those.
I mean, when I used to go to diners on the East Coast, if it was late and we'd been out all night, it was like 2 a.m., I used to get chicken wings and then an omelet.
Yeah, since I tend to go breakfast food after 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Fish and chips is the favorite of what state? Fish and chips. It's right there. It's right there in the name. Fish and chips. Where are they the most popular?
Kansas.
It is like that. It's Arizona. Fried chicken is tops in what state? Late night drunk food. It makes sense.
New York.
Virginia?
Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
And Popeyes goes with that. New Jersey. What are they having in New Jersey for a late night snack? You would think pizza.
Garlic knots?
It is actually Chinese food.
That is a good go-to.
That you probably have never tasted in your life. Maybe you have. I'm not sure if you've tasted in this style. But think about what late night food you might have if you were in Pennsylvania. Now, this is made at a plant, I believe, in...
Pretzels.
Pretzels is not a bad guess. It's in the same exact food.
Pierogies.
Pierogies.
Pierogies, right.
Pierogies are number one in Pennsylvania. You can fry them. You can steam them.
Can you boil them?
Think you can boil them? I mean, they're mashed,
you know, that is a good
they're mashed
drunk
potato
food.
filled, little pastries that you put butter on top of. I mean, how the hell do you go wrong with that?
I mean, I think it just depends on where you are, because sometimes like the late night stuff is different.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I think of hot dogs as being a necessarily late night food, but in Seattle, those carts are out at night, so then it becomes like a late night food.
Exactly.
But the other thing, too, is you don't necessarily have these things at your disposal, right? So, sure, I want some chicken wings. I'm not going to hook them up. I love Chinese food, not going to hook them up. But the breakfast food, I can do that.
Canada's kind of weird as far as the northern territories like Nunavut and all that stuff. They like shawarma. Where the Northern Territory, they're in for chicken wings. Yukon Territory, they are in for dumplings. If you're in British Columbia, they do breakfast. Here in Washington State and Oregon, hamburgers are the number one late night drunk food.
Thank you, Dix.
That's right.
I bet you they have a lot to do with it, man.
Kebabs in California. We move on. As far as the late night places that you might want to stop. Now, if you live in Canada, where is the number one place
Tim's.
you stop for drunk food?
Tim's.
It is not Tim's.
Not Tim's.
They do not appear on the list in Canada.
McDonald's.
I mean,
It's McDonald's.
Okay.
All right. Followed by A&W Root Beer, Domino's, Wendy's, and Pizza Hut. Here in the United States, it makes perfect sense. What is the number one spot we go to?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell kills it.
That's probably one of my go-tos.
Yes.
Absolutely.
McDonald's does come in number 2 in the United States, but number 3 makes even as much sense. Jack in the Box.
Yep.
That is exactly right.
Because they have variety, man.
They have a ton of stuff.
Right. And they got the 4th meal menu.
Number 4 makes just as much sense, but you'd have to be in the southeastern part of the United States to know it's a late night diner that you go to.
It's got to be Waffle House.
It is
Right.
Waffle
Yeah.
House. And then Domino's, as far as ordering, comes in at number 5.
Domino's also stays open the latest and delivers.
They get it. They understand.
They also asked the survey participants what the weirdest food is they've ever craved or eaten while drunk. The winner, dry ramen noodles. Cannot imagine that ever being remotely appetizing, but they say it's crunchy delicious. Some runner-ups and low-key appetizers include French fries with maple syrup in Canada, mac and cheese and a taco. Mac and cheese
I can do that.
in a taco show.
I mean, that's the thing. When you're drunk and it's late, because I feel like stoners, if you're just stoned, you're more apt to like make something.
Correct.
You might add a few extra spices, but like when you're drunk, anything tastes good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why ranch got so popular.
Spaghetti,
It's like, if it's Saturday night, I've been drinking all day and it's midnight, like everything's getting dipped in ranch.
Spaghetti and ranch dressing was another one.
There you go.
If this is wrong, they don't want to be right. Peanut butter and grilled cheese. So
That
you put
actually
peanut butter within the cheese and
Or you spread it on top afterwards.
Maybe you could do that too. Pickles and Nutella.
No. What?
That was another one. Pizza.
Oh my
People
God.
are drunk.
You're pregnant. You're not drunk.
And pizza and chocolate syrup.
I will say, when I first started smoking weed, when I moved out here, I would make condiment sandwiches.
I've done that because I was broke, but not because I was stoned.
All right.
But I feel it. I mean, but not bad. What do you prefer, ketchup or mustard?
Oh, they both go in there.
Oh, really?
I'm saying, if I had a condiment in the fridge, it went on there.
Somebody here says spaghetti corn applesauce with ketchup for the sauce. Sounds terrible. Actually, pretty good. I agree with the first half of that statement. That does sound terrible.
But
Again,
what made you come up with that?
Applesauce.
It's just
and
what you
ketchup.
have?
I gotta think like those are the 4 ingredients that were in your home, right? I can't imagine anyone going, "This sounds good."
I don't double carbs.
What do you mean?
I don't do 2 carbs at once on the same thing. Very rarely.
So what about a pierogi?
Maybe a little. Maybe that. Maybe a little slider after Thanksgiving dinner.
Sure.
I'll put some mashed potatoes on there and some stuffing. But I've already got a roll. So with the corn and then the spaghetti, that's why I never order like one of those. Have you ever been to a pizza place that has a potato pizza?
I've seen it on the menu, but
I've had pizza with potato on it before.
And?
Loved it.
Was it good?
Yeah, but it was sliced very thin. So it was almost like a potato chip.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
Random.
Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Anthony, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see. Anthony, where were you trapped, or where did you feel like you were trapped?
Oh man. I was gonna do the late night drunk food. You got me stumped. Where was I trapped?
Could have been a job. Could have been a relationship.
Should have been an elevator, stairwell.
In a roommate situation that you couldn't get out of until the end of the lease?
First job out of college, I worked in a call center for 3 months. Hated it, so I pretended my aunt died and I quit on the spot.
But you did get through 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months of just torture, making fresh out of college, $10 an hour. So it was a scam.
How long did it take you to start hating the job?
1 week.
Okay.
What was were you selling something or were you on a customer service line?
You were selling. So you're cold calling people to sign up for accounting services and payroll.
Was it legit, the services you offered?
Yeah, but the pay scale and the benefits were not. They kind of just found entry-level college students who would take anything they could get.
Of course.
I mean, look, I applied for one of those jobs that I was the same age, and that's all it was.
That's about the age, yeah.
But I've never heard of anybody who said they loved that job.
No, it was 150 cold calls a day. That was your quota.
And how many people out of your 150 a day signed up? Most people are not happy to be bothered on their phone for an unsolicited phone call.
If you could get 2 or 3 yeses in a week, you're doing good.
Really?
And did you get paid off commission for that?
Yeah, you get $10 an hour, and then the commission was the more sales you got, the more commission. So your first sale was nothing, but if you kept building on it, you get more.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible job.
Just to get to 150, because that doesn't say you work 8 hours.
But it's 150 a day, and you're saying 3 yeses a week. So if you're doing this 5 days a week, man, 750 calls you made, and you're hoping that 3 people go, cool, yeah, I'll buy into that.
And typically you're just calling businesses, right?
Oh, yeah, they'd give you a sales lead sheet. You would just say, hey, this is Anthony calling from so-and-so. Can I speak to the owner? And that was your go-to line they gave you. And it worked maybe, you could usually get to the owner 10% of the time. Half the time they hang up on you or make a funny story and keep you on the line.
That sounds about right.
That's good. What did you end up doing after that? What was the job that followed?
I worked for a grocery store as a manager, and then finally got promoted to IT now.
Okay. All right.
That all has to start somewhere.
It does.
Typically, your first job sucks.
I was going to say, it was the same thing when I did door-to-door sales. That was the whole idea. If you went and knocked on 100 doors, you should be able to sell 10. Because 1 out of 10 customers ideally would buy one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just law of averages, right? So, I mean, but you did it all day. You do your first round, people are going to be at work or whatever. So then you'll get a couple people, maybe somebody working shift work, maybe a mom home with some kids. Then the second round, you're hoping that, like, more people that, like, work are back home. And then, like, the third round before you had to call it, you're just hoping whoever comes in last is just going to buy something.
Also, you got to remember at that age, especially when it comes to sales, you're not prepared for all the answers all the time. You don't know.
You're not a natural salesperson.
You do your best. You try to be approachable. I sold for the...
You got to keep in mind, though, what he was doing, some of those places, there's just a sheet. Right. They're not trained. I mean, at least door-to-door sales, I'll give them that. They give you some techniques, but it's all baseline, simple things to just prepare you for the same answer.
So what I sold was the white and the yellow pages of West Virginia University.
Nice.
Separate from the regular telephone book.
All right.
For the university
These were the ones that they handed out to all the students. They had all the numbers of all the students, and they had whatever dorm kind of information.
Okay.
If you want to call the dorms, if you want to call any of that stuff. So everything that was basically involved with the university. So if you needed to call the library, if you needed to call any of the social services that were offered, or any of those things, it was all kind of
that makes sense.
But they had yellow pages. So I sold the yellow pages, and you go up to, I don't know, like, say, one of the big electric people that work in the area. You know what I mean? Like a C-Town, electric plumbing, or whatever. You go up to them and say, hey, you guys need to be in the yellow pages. Because, if someone needs a plumber or electrician, they're going to need to call you. And they would say something like, son, are you trying to tell me you believe that the students who come here own their properties?
That was my first thought.
Well, I don't. Yeah. I don't see that happening, man. I don't think we're going to get any.
You need to target the local pizza joints.
Yeah, I did. Trust me, I did. But you
think Taco Bell.
But you would also look to the regular yellow pages to see the leads that you were trying to get. The people who did the whole page ads, like the hospitals of the world. The guys are
a hospital, sure. But you're right, man. If again, you said like C-Town or something, like, dude, No. They are not going to call us.
Your landlord doesn't get this.
Right.
No, the student gets this. The people that make decisions do not get this.
Correct.
So that was the hardest thing to do and then basically what you ended up doing was you ended up going to bars and you could sell coupons. Now this is crazy crap right here. You could do like buy one pitcher of beer and chicken wings and get another pitcher beer for free.
Okay.
So you'd have a cutout coupon in the back of the yellow pages. Like you come up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They let it fly. Like that was not to discount on the West Virginia Alcohol Control Board did not care that you offered up a second pitcher of beer
free.
If you got a pitcher of beer and wings.
How many of those did you take home?
There was nobody coming down.
Yeah, how many of those coupons did you
not
cut
every
out?
state. I mean, a lot of states, there's something illegal about that.
Oh, right.
But you're also...
Washington State's liquor board is a little different.
The majority of these people who are in school are not 21 years old. The seniors are. Some of the juniors are. But, I mean, you are catering to 1/4 of these student bodies.
But if I own a bar in a college town, I already recognize that 50% of the college... Yes, 1/4 can legally drink here. 50% do. Right? I mean, that's why you'd open a bar in a college town.
Or they have VIP passes for a Friday night at the club that would guarantee entry starting at 10 or 11 o'clock. So no matter what, if you were in line and you had this coupon.
Right, you could get in.
You would be the next in line. If they met their fire requirement, if there's 200 people in there, 2 people leave, they're going to take the people with the coupons to be able to get in next in line. That kind of crap.
Well, people forget back in the day, it was just technology wasn't there. Like we used to go to a club in Baltimore. We were only like 19. So you could be 18 to get in, 21 to drink.
Correct.
But they would have wristbands.
Yeah. Oh, the colored wristbands.
But they would just change them every week. So eventually there was people that would just stand in line and be like, it's red this week. Give me $20. I'll give you a red wristband. And you'd wait, you get in there, and then you'd pop it on, you'd be good to go.
Yep.
The good old days.
Reason we asked, where were you trapped? Man, oh man, is this a hell of a story we'll leave you with. A plus-size British Airways passenger got stuck in a first-class seat after his flight landed in the UK from Nigeria early on Saturday morning. This happened over the weekend. The newspaper reported the passenger was wedged in a seat for about 3 hours after the 6.5-hour flight from Murtala Mohammed International Airport, landing at London's Heathrow at 5:10 o'clock in the morning. So it was there at 5:10 a.m. Passenger was seated in 1A. If you're walking onto an airplane and you look to a right, that is the first row, that is the window seat.
Right.
He is in the very front of the aircraft, which has more legroom. Just keep that in mind.
His
Which
legs
they say
aren't
is
the
a
problem.
Legroom, they're wider too.
Yes,
they're just
they are.
more comfortable seats.
A much desired seat that is typically reserved for executive club gold card holders, according to The Sun. The cabin crew got involved, tried to calm the passenger down after he realized he was unable to get out of his seat, but they were unable to move him. Emergency services were then called to get the passenger out, with an engineering note outlining a plan that they had come up with. The note reportedly said, a volumetric passenger passenger is stuck in seat 1A. The plan is to remove the suite door and then use a hoist to eject him from the seat.
Eject him. I like that.
The door was ultimately removed, and the passenger was extricated from his suite using the hoist, according to the outlet. He was also still in his seat when they hoisted him out.
So they took the entire seat.
They took the entire seat out with him.
So they didn't even get him out of the seat. They just got him off the plane.
Business Class Experts, a travel website, says that seats in British Airways first class are a little bit over 2 feet wide. They did not immediately respond for requests for comment from the insider, did British Airways. By the way, last month, CNN reported on a plus-side passenger calling out U.S. airlines for the shrinking width of the airplane seats and the requirements that larger passengers pay for an additional seat, which in fact is pretty crazy. But either way, stuck in a seat for 3.5 hours after a 6.5-hour flight. Yes, that is 10 hours stuck in an airline seat.
And there's the thing, we don't even know how much longer he was stuck in the seat. We just know they got him off the plane.
That's a good
Think
point.
about that. So they took the whole seat out with him in it. So it's like, yeah, we got you off the plane, but we still got to get you out of the seat. And like I said to Mike earlier, think about this. That delays everything.
They had to take the seat apart.
At airports everywhere, right? Because you're now at a gate that other planes plan on using on a schedule. They cannot use that gate. You have to reroute people. Just all the stuff because your big ass couldn't get out of the seat.
I'm actually kind of shocked they could even just take a chair out of the airplane without it being in the factory.
Well, now I want to find out what the suite door is. Because typically, the front door is real close to 1A.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was another door, like kind of close behind that. I guess there is.
Maybe because they never have to use it unless something like this happens. Yeah. There's no reason for you to notice that it's there.
That's what I'm saying. It's unreal to me they took a whole seat out while the plane was at the airport.
The sad part is that, not that they did that, but that was the easiest way to do it. Think about that. Like, look, guys, the easiest way, the thing that will take the least amount of time, disassemble part of the plane, get his ass out.
Categories coming up: the hottest cities in the U.S. and the best places for a barbecue with your guess is as good as mine. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hi, this is Tom Borthwick, the Diamond King. We have a huge selection in store, 10 times most places in Whatcom County. We have over 100 certified large diamonds in stock. We have trained staff that went to jewelry school. We offer huge discounts all the time, every day. We have 3 jewelers in our store. We want you to save time. We gift wrap everything and treat you kindly with knowledge. Thank you for shopping a family-owned small business that supports 9 families. We donate to over 50 charities per year. Thank you for being our customer, Borthwick Jewelry.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, our categories today: the hottest cities in the U.S. and the best places for barbecue. But first, time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And a few from our random questions today. Guys, I grew up in Santa Cruz, California. Subject is roller coasters in the late 70s. Spent many a weekend on the boardwalk. Roller coaster there was one of the oldest wooden roller coasters around. You could feel it move back and forth. It was the best ride I ever had. Took my kids there when they were just old enough to get on it. I'm pretty sure I scarred them for life. That from Eric on Camino Island. On the subject of what did you sell? Guys, I sold cemetery plots by cold call in Arkansas. That would be a tough sell. I mean, everybody's going to pass on.
I emailed the bank and said, look, everyone's going to die, so in theory, it's worth at least listening to your spiel.
Well, it's like you're a car dealer. You only sell the cars on your lot.
Correct.
But with a cemetery plot, what if your family... So in other words, if I'm a cemetery plot salesman, do I get carte blanche on all the different cemeteries in the area, and then I just use their rates to sell the plot? Or am I just putting you in one spot in Arkansas that happens to be the cemetery where we are selling the plots? In other words, is this a new home division, or can I buy a home anywhere I want?
I don't know. I would think you're trying to cover your own plot.
I mean, I remember my parents bought plots because they wanted to be in a cemetery. But basically, in that area, it was already getting so full, they didn't know if they'd be able to get in there.
I remember saying, and obviously people had purchased these plots in advance, but we're in the cemetery to kind of visit the tomb of another relative, and we walk by, and my brother stops me and just points. And there's 2 gravestones, so say it says, the Ted Smith, 1980 to 2023, okay? And you're buried.
I'm sorry, by the way.
You're sorry.
Tragic news coming. But then next to you is your wife, right? Tedina Smith, 1980 to 20.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I was like, can you? But keep in mind, this was the still late 20th century, so it was 19 something. It was like 1994, and I'm like, so you have to hope she dies within the next 6 years, otherwise it'll cost you a lot of money to get another gravestone.
Got to scrub that.
I mean, look, they bought plots, but then we ended up cremating my dad.
So what do you do with the plot?
Do you just put a plaque down instead of the...
Or do you get the money
I'll be dead honest with you. I don't know that me and Chris have really talked about it. Because he also, since he died first, and he's a veteran of the Vietnam War, we could put like some of his ashes in an urn in Arlington.
Right.
So he was like, I want to do that. So
you can't blame him.
I don't know. I never dawned on me to call Fort Collins Cemetery and be like, hey, could I sell this back to you?
You should actually call your brother and say, dude.
If what you're saying is true about the fact that, plots are going like crazy, right? Then maybe you could get some
unused. Because for them, it's just real estate. They can make money again.
Well, it's also crazy, too, is like my mom's family, like everybody in her family is in that cemetery.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, but your parents bought this when they were together, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they probably bought it in the mid-90s.
Right. So if I bought a plot cemetery with my first wife, I mean, if I still want to use that?
Not if she's buried there. And she won't want to be buried there if
That's
you
what I'm
die
saying.
first.
Does she want to? No,
it just
hell
depends
no.
who dies first. The other one's going to be like, nah,
maybe that's part of the scheme.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they're expecting people to divorce.
I know we're dead.
We always get one back.
I know we're dead in the ground, but still, F you.
But you don't want to be next to dead.
You don't want to lay by me. I don't want to lay by you. We've already established that in real life.
Right.
Why in the afterlife do we have to be like 3 feet apart?
Yeah, don't do it.
For eternity. All right, some weird musical instruments here. We brought up the accordion. Guys, the dulcimer. I built a dulcimer in junior high. Still have it. My son wants to restore it. That from Trista, which means she made a pretty good dulcimer if it can be restored. We had like a shoebox or some crap and rubber bands. Or fishing string or some crap.
That was rubber bands all day, brother.
Yeah. As far as accordion playing is concerned, Ola, me and my brother learned to play accordion from our grandfather who played his entire life. I played for about 10 years. Unfortunately, stopped when my grandfather passed on. We learned to play a lot of hymnal-type songs and also lots of Italian songs on an old handwritten sheet music that my grandfather had from the early 1900s.
That's pretty cool.
That's from Jeremy. Cool. Yeah, that is very cool. Let's see here. Accordion player Bon Scott from AC/DC. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Oh, he actually played the accordion.
I did not know that, but according to Drayton, he did.
Would not have guessed that.
That's one. That's a rock.
Wait, that's bagpipes, though, isn't it?
Right. Like,
Yeah,
where's the accordion in that song? He does play bagpipes. I know that
bagpipes.
for a fact. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bagpipes.
Maybe that guy's wrong.
Years ago, man, New Originals, we played Long Way to the Top, and we got like the local fire department's bagpipe players.
And like their drum and bagpipe.
So, like, we're playing the song, people don't know they're going to come out. I cannot explain the crowd reaction to bagpipers basically taking over the stage. You would think Mick Jagger just popped up. It's like not a bad time to play bagpipes.
Bagpipes are crazy too. I love them. Mm-hmm. I think they sound cool.
I think they sound really cool.
I'll just say a friend who they hear them and they start crying.
Oh, really?
Well, because they're played often at funerals.
That is true.
So, I mean, it happens.
It's yeah.
That's why I hate the Ave Maria.
And one last question about bagpipes. Do you have to wear a kilt to play them?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen someone play bagpipes like wearing sweatpants.
Mm-hmm. Breaking the mold, breaking the tradition.
Like, even if they go to their house.
We're part of the newer bagpipe generation.
But no, even if you went to their house and they said, oh, yeah, dude, I can play bagpipes. I got them in the closet. Play a tune for me. Somehow, even in that moment, on July 4th, your buddy gets out of his shorts and his tank top and shows back up or in the kilt, and then he'll play the bagpipes.
I just assume that if you're going to move forward with this on a style thing or a fashion point, you still just don't wear underwear. So that is the real key to bagpipes. You're playing them with no underwear on.
Which motivates me to play anything.
Traditionally. Guys, my daughter turned 17 today. Can we get a men's room shout out to Evelyn? How about an owl hitting the window? I just said that. And a you shall not pass for her last year before she becomes an adult. Thanks, guys. That from Jim, your loyal Pasco podcaster listening on the Odyssey app.
I just said that.
Gas!
Guys, want to give a birthday shout out to my friend Katie today. She would love a happy Chinooka and anything else you find funny. That from Nickel Bitch.
Oh, God!
Wow.
Happy Chinooka.
Holy J! Guys, a shout out to,
Wasn't done yet.
That had to be wet, man.
Shout out to my beautiful wife, Megan, on her birthday today. She is the best and somehow puts up with my nonsense. Cheers, guys. That from Andrew. Give him a dealer's choice, Mike, on whatever that Megan would like for her birthday there.
You're not God or my father or my boss.
Drop the beat.
Ahoy, Bicholas.
I got to poop, too. That one's not helping.
Guys, I want to wish my wife, Danielle, the happiest of golden birthdays. She's an incredible wife, mother, and best friend. The best that anyone could ask for. Cheers to many more milestone birthdays and amazing memories to come. Can she please get a little kid fish sandwich, some green beans, and the Dirty Germans letting her know how she can thank me for her dream trip to South Beach, Miami, and then a cruise to the Bahamas. Lots of love, guys. That from Alex.
Fish salad.
Green beans, green beans, green beans, green beans.
Yeah, this is quite easy. You're taking on a trip to South Beach. I say she simply let you visit her South Beach.
I think the simplest thing is just start to get a little candy. So go out and you buy some blow pops. You start working, practicing. Can you get to the gum without using your teeth?
Yeah, don't treat it like a Tootsie Pop.
And all guys, please.
I still hate that owl.
Screw that.
that out.
Why's that?
Because he's such a meanie to the guy when he's like...
He's not mean.
He's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center? And he's like, a 1, a 2, a 3. Like, he's a... I have choice words for that out.
Let me ask you this, because I don't remember the commercial entirely. Did the kid give the owl the Tootsie Pop, or did the owl already have
I'm pretty sure he gave it to him.
Okay, well, then that's on him.
Yeah.
That's on him. I would not go up to you and be like, hey, try my candy and tell me what you think. I'm giving it to you.
Guys, please wish my incredible husband, Wes, a very happy birthday from Jillian and from Cal. Would love it if you can make him smile. Many thanks. Give him a dealer's choice there, Mike.
All right. Let's see.
It's time to take off the leash.
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Golly chestnut.
Hey, guys, could you give my husband...
I can't say it on the air, so I wrote it down when I think about that bastardly owl.
Guys, could you give my husband, Jash, a birthday shout-out? Your penis is too small. Maybe some dirty Germans. Thanks so much, guys. That from Sarah.
Yeah, back to the blow pop discussion. Yeah, no teeth on this, but you will find quite a surprise in the middle. And it's sour apple.
Yeah. It's also funny that his name is Josh. Rhymes with dash or gash.
No.
I mean, what his parents only did they miswrite out an O? Jash?
Is it Jash?
Jash.
J-A-S-H.
Seriously, it's Jash.
Yeah.
Jash.
I just thought like you had a slip on the Josh.
Like
you know
Rash.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Jash.
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 My name's Jash. Sorry, man. We're not trying to make fun. I've just never heard of that name in my life.
Happy birthday, Jash.
Jash.
All right, guys, here we go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you. Bitchy.
Ya's a dirty German.
but the
brought to you
owl's
by
the meanie.
Men's Room Original Sausage.
All right.
Through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line for your guess is as good as mine now at 206-803-ROCK. And in the meantime, a couple extra ones. Favorite meal from Friday. Gentlemen, in regards to the topic of your favorite meal, my wife and I look forward to this the day after Thanksgiving each year. Now, this, by the way, sounds freaking amazing. All right. She makes an entire Thanksgiving dinner simply because we don't get leftovers from my mother-in-law's house. We take the stove-top stuffing 2 boxes made per the instructions. Let it cool in the refrigerator. Stir in 1 egg. Then throw a cupful into the waffle maker. Have to set the waffle maker on high. Make sure it gets nice and crunchy. Pull it out, put it on a plate, and top it with absolutely everything else. I use cranberry sauce out of the can as sort of a spread, then mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, and turkey. By far the best meal we have all year. The crispy exterior and the soft middle of the store-bought stuffing waffle is quite possibly what dreams are made of. Thank you guys, and rock on. That from Ramon. That sounds
All right, man. Yeah.
That sounds
I would have
amazing.
never thought of that, but that sounds good.
What else? Things I miss eating. My pot dealer's cheesecake. I meant to email sooner, but I got too stoned off of capsules and forgot my phone on an errand. That from Hip Hop Anonymous in Suburgatory, Washington. And one more. Guys, talking about food and how different people can follow the same directions, it'll taste different. I'm the cook in the family. I hear that I'm good. I do it the best way I feel. However, it's not just the ingredients that I eyeball and put into the food. It's also how it's prepared. I just made pork tacos, and my family loved it, but it tasted different than how I normally do it. When I do the recipe, it's all from scratch. Takes 2.5 hours to prep, cook, and that includes the fresh tortillas. If I don't have that time, I use store-bought. One of the secrets is I will use a pan to combine everything. If I combine everything early to save time, the tastes start to blend into everything else. But if I add it all at the end, all the individual tastes hold up and it tastes better. Fudge is that way too, but with other recipes. If you're bringing something to a boil like a pudding or cream pie, do it slowly. Use real butter. And lastly, I have a kid in college now. I gave him the tip of the chicken breast and a crock pot, Ted, with a jar of salsa. And that's all you need for burrito or taco meat. And I got that from Mr. Smith. Take care, guys. Love what you do. That from Squirrel.
That one is the easiest, and credit, I stole it from my brother.
Either way. Yeah. All right, time for a little Your Guess is as Good as Mine. It's an easy game to play. We get a contestant on the line. You pick from one of 2 categories, and then try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes, and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant? Ready to play Your Guess?
I've never met him, Miles. I don't know. But they say their name is Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hola! Jamie, welcome to the program. Your guess is as good as mine. You'll pick from one of two categories here, then try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. All the categories contain 10 right answers. So here we go. We have the 10 hottest cities in the United States of America for 2023. Well, summertime here. You know the drill, man. It is hot as hell. And these are the top 10 hottest cities in the U.S. Next, we have the best barbecue cities in America. They compared the 200 biggest U.S. cities based on 5 categories: barbecue vendors, rankings from consumers, competition awards, number of barbecue festivals, among 20 total metrics. So, Jamie, do you want to go barbecue cities in America or the hottest cities in America?
I think I'm going to go hottest cities in America.
You're going to go to the hottest cities in America. All right, Jamie, you know how the game is played. Here are your hints. There are 2 cities from Florida, 3 cities from Texas, 2 cities from Arizona. Nevada has 1, and California has 2. So keep in mind the cities are in these states.
Are they major cities?
They are in the 200 cities with a population over 250,000.
Okay, all right.
So most of them are. A couple of them.
But you've heard of all of them, I'm guessing.
You have heard of all these, yes, correct. I'll try to steer you in, Jamie, on that. So again, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Those are the states with the hottest cities. So what's your first guess? On your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I'm going to go with the obvious. I think I'm going to go with Phoenix.
You're going to go with Phoenix, Arizona. That is number 1. More than 1.6 million. More than 1.6 million people live in the city, where the temperature usually exceeds 90 for more than 169 days out of the year.
What are they tracking right now? Like they have a certain number of days over 110?
Oh, they're
just
crazy.
over. Is it over 110? Golly, man, that's hot.
That is hot.
But it's a dry heat.
All right, you're 1 for 1, Jamie. What's your next guess?
It's still hot. I love when people say that.
Oh, it's dry. So you said there's one in Nevada?
Well, let's do it this way, brother. You've gotten through Phoenix, Arizona. There are 2 cities in Arizona if you just want to go state by state. All right, so there's one more city from Arizona that shows up on the list. It is the southernmost major city in Arizona.
Tucson?
Ooh, I think Ted's tracking.
Yeah, let's go with Tucson.
Tucson is number 3. That is
there you go.
3rd hottest city.
Jamie, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I just discovered where Tucson is located in the state of Arizona. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, no problem.
Same here, my mom lives there.
I don't know.
I only know college football. That's where Arizona is.
Yep.
Right.
All right, let's move on. Do you want to do a different state, or you just want to guess, Jamie?
Well, let's go to Florida.
Let's go to Florida, where there are 2 cities that rank among the hottest in the U.S.
Orlando?
Orlando, Florida, number 10. Great pick, brother. Okay. So far, you're 3 for 3 with Orlando, with Tucson, Arizona, and with Phoenix, Arizona.
You think Tampa or Miami?
I know I've been going back and forth on that. Man, if it's me, I think I'd pick Tampa, but it's up to you, man. It's up to you. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
You're gonna go with Miami. Miami's number 6.
Miami. Good call. Miami, Ted.
Okay, so you've got both cities in Florida and both cities in Arizona taken care of. So far on 4 guesses, you're correct 4 times. The following states have cities remaining. Texas has 3. Nevada has 1. California has 2.
Let's do Texas. Let's go with Houston.
Houston, Texas. Number 7 on the list of the U.S. hottest cities.
I've never been to Houston where it has not been hot. I've been there Christmas. I've been there in March. I've been there in the summer. Like, it is just hot all the time.
Keep in mind, Jamie, you've got one of the 3 in Texas.
Houston, and there's
San Antonio, Austin. I want to say
El Paso?
Ooh.
That's right on the border.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it has more than 250,000 people, though.
Okay. That's a good hint. Don't say El Paso.
El Paso?
No, don't say it.
Oh, no, it's Dallas. Sorry, Dallas.
Dallas is number 9 on the list.
Yeah.
They can endure some of the warmest weather in all of Texas' major cities because it is situated inland from the Gulf.
Correct.
More so than Houston and San Antonio. Daily highs in the mid to upper 90s are not uncommon. By the end of June to early September, notoriously hot.
I've been there at almost the end of October. It was obnoxiously hot.
That's what I said. Texas is just freaking hot.
All right, Jamie, you've got 1 of the cities correct in Texas. There are 2 more.
No,
I'm sorry, you got 2 out there. You got Houston and Dallas, correct.
Well, let's just go with San Antonio.
San Antonio's number 5. More than 1.5 million people live in San Antonio, where the midsummer temperature average is about 98 to 105 a day.
Oh, the mayor from San Antonio is bitching out the governor right now.
Oh, yeah, because
he implemented all this stuff. It's like, dude, people are dropping dead. Okay, put your politics aside. It is hot.
Yes. All right, so, Jamie, there's 1 city in Nevada and 2 in California left. The cities in California are not the major cities you believe them to be.
Okay.
All right. Let's go Nevada. Let's go Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas is number 2. Las Vegas is the second hottest city in the United States of America. Most places there have air conditioning. If not, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jamie, no Los Angeles, no San Francisco, no San Diego, California on the list as far as California is concerned.
Right, because they're on the coast. You got to think of it as California city that's inland.
In the Mojave or Colorado deserts, perhaps one that's just a little bit east of Los Angeles, halfway between Los Angeles and Palm Springs, California.
San Jose?
No, San Jose is San Francisco.
North. Yeah. What was your guess?
Palmdale?
Nah. Think horses. Think the place smells like horse crap. Think Mexican restaurants. Think of driving due east out of Los Angeles, out of your way from Compton. You're heading into the valley. You're heading into the desert. What is the last major city? It's famous for not all the best things, like crime.
Oakland?
No, that's farther
that's north.
Is that like Bakersfield or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, neither.
Ontario.
So what was it?
What was that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's due east. Said due east. Yeah, due. To me, when you go due east from Los Angeles, you're going to Vegas.
What was that?
Little Rock?
2 strikes, Jamie. Go.
This is tough, man.
Oh, man. See, and you say it's like a major city, like a known city?
Yeah.
And I know the valley.
Half a million people live here.
500,000 people live there.
Would we think it's part of Los Angeles, generally?
Yeah, it could be if you go an hour east. It's considered maybe.
All right.
Burbank?
Burbank is not correct. And look, man, Jamie, this was tough because it comes down to the 2 hottest cities basically on the edge of the desert. We're talking Riverside, California. That's the one that's east of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And Fresno, California comes in.
Oh, right.
At number 8. So Riverside is number 4. Your top 10 hottest cities in the U.S. Orlando, Florida, 10. Dallas at 9. Fresno is 8. 7 is Houston. 6, Miami at number 5. That would be San Antonio, Texas. Followed by Riverside at 4. Tucson, Arizona at 3. 2 is Vegas. The number 1 hottest city in the United States, that would be Phoenix, Arizona. Shot of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up here in just minutes, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, a quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right. A man went viral for tattooing a blank to-do list on his palm.
Okay.
Well, if you wash it off, I guess it's
right. I mean,
keep the list going.
You could You could have a pen that you could eventually just wash off and you just put it on there. But I'll stick to my phone if I need to, have a to-do list to reference.
I'll just stick to my memory and get yelled at when I get home.
That's fact. You know what? You're playing it. You're playing it fast and loose, Steve.
Never failed.
Fails me all the damn time. I do know what I missed using that system, though.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
I'm told. No, very clearly. What it is that I missed.
3 times. Sorry.
Well, okay. You got to ask 4.
Right.
We've established that.
Man, 3 times doesn't do it. 4 times makes the habit.
Might.
Sometimes you just forget.
Yep.
I do all the time.
Yeah. I was 10 minutes from my house today before I realized I just left my phone sitting on my bed.
Oh, no kidding?
Yep.
How'd you get up here? Oh, that's right. You got the card. Mm-hmm.
Well, I went back and got it. Oh. But it's one of those things. Like, you do the pocket check, and
Right.
So same thing with chores. Like, you might do it, you just might forget something. Like, oh, damn it, I was supposed to dust.
Yeah. I forgot my security badge thing.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that as soon as I got to work, like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Disney World now has a pickle milkshake in Epcot.
No.
I'd try it.
I'd go for it, dude. I would.
If you like pickles.
Yeah.
No.
All it really is just kind of a vinegar taste.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it was the same reason I don't really like salt and vinegar potato chips that much.
Sure.
Because they taste like pickles. And I know there's a pickle chip.
There is.
But I don't
They
feel
do
like
not taste like pickles.
They're not that far off.
See, and salt and vinegar is probably one of my favorite chips.
I do enjoy salt and vinegar chip, but not pickles.
I'm coming around to salt and vinegar. I never liked it when I was a kid, but all of a sudden, that's starting to taste
But I
pretty
like
good.
vinegar on French fries. I don't know why I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense.
Vinegar on French fries. I've never done that.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, vinegar?
God, dude,
fish,
really?
fish and chips.
Okay.
That's what you put on the fish and the chips.
Gotcha. Nope, never did that.
Yeah, it's like a British thing, but it's big on the East Coast too. Just malt vinegar, you dump it all over everything.
Well, alrighty then. Look at me go.
I know. Whereas out here, it's like you can put your fries in the tartar.
Tartar.
Oh, all right.
Tartar.
I love tartar sauce. That's so yeah.
Yeah, like the first time I ever went to Spud out in West Seattle, they were like tartar. I was like, cool. Where's I need vinegar,
Right.
you know?
No, tartar sauce, man.
Tartar sauce.
Burger King in Canada is testing out a ketchup chicken nugget, kind of like their ketchup
Jesus
chips.
Christ. I mean that. If that's not a fantasy for children, I don't know what is.
My daughter might be funding that.
Right? Like, right. Who was bankrolling this? Like a 10-year-old billionaire?
So kids, when they eat chicken nuggets, they traditionally don't go for any of the dipping sauces. They just still go straight ketchup.
Right. That's what I see all the time.
Okay.
Ketchup.
I was always barbecue sauce when I was a kid. A lot of kids did sweet and sour, but I like the barbecue sauce.
I like the
better.
sweet and sour a lot.
I know it's far from traditional, but yeah, like McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. I'm like, maybe just because I ate as a kid, I'm like, it's the best sweet and sour sauce out there.
It is good.
Yeah.
Anybody ever go honey mustard?
Sure.
On occasion.
I like honey mustard. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think they have a bad dip.
They really don't.
For their
man.
nuggets, you know, they used to have one, the Polynesian that they had for a while. And people lost their mind over that, and they discontinued it.
That
Szechuan.
That's
Szechuan. Sorry.
Polynesian's Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Come on, Miles.
Get your sauces together, brother.
Well, just because, again, when I was a kid, if we went to a Chick-fil-A in the mall, I'd be like, I want sweet and sour, and they'd be like, there's only Polynesian. I remember asking my mom, like, hey, is it the same? I don't know. I was like, yeah, it's the same stuff.
Okay. Hot take. Was Szechuan sauce all that, or was it just sensationalized because of Rick and Morty?
I think Rick and Morty helped, but I'm sure it was good. It's a McDonald's sauce.
Okay, fair enough. And you know what? That's a fact, Ted. Well done. Half of us avoid places that don't have drive-thrus.
I don't care about that. I'd rather go in.
Agreed. And half the time, it is faster if you go in.
A lot of time, depending on the line outside, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm on a road trip, I'll go in to kind of take a break. But generally, I feel like if I'm in a car, going to get fast food, I'll probably get drive-thru and eat it at home.
There you go.
Agreed.
All right. In my 32 long years of living, there's been one thing that has just confounded me, and that is the mysteries of women. But there's a handful of questions that just we're too embarrassed to ask, so let's get into it.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 questions men want to ask women, but are too scared to. Like, is there something that you used to do that you really loved, but you stopped doing? For example, karaoke. Asking for a friend.
Damn. All right. So these are questions that men want to ask women but are too scared to ask. And I believe this was an online forum in which a handful of women did give their own answers to these particular questions here. So let's see here. Why so many trinkets? With the necklaces and the earrings and the rings and everything else that they got going on.
Accessorizing.
Pretty much, and that's all it really is. Just is that we get gifted so many little trinkets that we want to display them, and it's nice to have something fun and cute to look at. They also said that we're secretly cats, just like shiny things.
Guys don't give gifts to each other.
No.
But women do. So I understand why they want to keep those for
very
sentimental
trinkety.
value and everything else.
So to be fair, no, it's not the jewelry that I was talking about. It's little figurines and stuff that are all over the place. You know, just the little gifts that they get. Shiny things.
Yeah.
They look nice.
I mean, guys give each other gifts. It's like, hey, I'm going to pick up the bar tab. Right? Ours is generally consumed.
This one doesn't really hide the ball. Does creepy just mean ugly?
I mean, I wouldn't think so. There's some good-looking people that could still be creepy as hell.
That was the consistent answer. There was a handful of answers that they gave, and that was it. It's just that no, creepy is creepy. You can look like George Clooney, and if you come off as a creep, you're not attractive at all.
You know who has that? The guys that have been called creepy. Yeah. And now they're wondering if they're actually just ugly. Like, no, you're just
Ted,
creepy.
was it SNL that did the sexual harassment skit, basically, where I think it was Tom Brady, maybe? Or somebody who was
what was
really good.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I think you're going to come off a lot creepier if you're ugly.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, good-looking people could still be creepy.
Yes.
Sure.
Right. Ted Bundy.
Would they get more of a chance?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the creepiness is just awkwardness.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah, someone gets described as creepy, and you're like, nah, man, they're just awkward.
Exactly.
Or it's just what you're saying to people.
Right.
And how you say it. I think, Ted, you were the one who told me this. A comedian was like, look, someone talks about children, and you can have the exact same reply. It depends how you say it. So you go, oh, I love children. Or, I love children.
Bingo.
Entirely different.
Do you notice when men need to adjust themselves? Yeah.
Like when we're in the action of it?
Pretty much, yeah. You know.
The action, or just can they tell, hey, go ahead and adjust yourself because you're hanging to the left or right?
And just like everybody else, yeah, we notice, but we don't care at all. We get it. Okay. Guess what? Women need to adjust themselves too.
Oh, I see boob adjustments all the time.
Absolutely.
And I'll just shake them around, do your thing.
Exactly.
I get it.
Get it, man.
You have like test chesticles.
Let's see here. These are questions that men want to ask women but are too scared to. How do you smell so good all the time? Honestly, it boils down to science.
Product.
Estrogen makes you sweat less and have a less intense smell. Testosterone promotes a very musky, heavy smell and causes more intense sweating.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, half the shampoos they use, all
Correct.
that stuff. And I appreciate it.
Shampoos, conditioners, lotions, creams, perfumes. It's all scented and it all smells
Every
wonderful.
single one of them.
Just like a bouquet of flowers walking by me.
Yeah, that's one thing I teeter on creepy. I got it. Sometimes out loud, I'll just go, she smelled great.
See, it sounds creepy, but it's not creepy.
Right, but like, there's no nice way to go.
But you also tell guys that.
You're
That's
right.
true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like you're...
But you just
But
say
it
to
seems creepy
a
to a
random woman,
woman.
like, you smell great.
Perceive-
Yeah.
We've said that on the elevator. Like, a woman gets on, then she gets off the elevator. And we'll both say to each other, damn, and you know shampoo. Like, she smelled good. But if I said, ma'am, I know you don't know me. I just want to tell you, you smell fantastic.
Right.
There's
I
also
get pepper
times where it's
spray.
it's too much.
Sure,
You get on the elevator, you're
sure.
like, oh my God, who was on here?
And I agree with you, Ted. You can say it to where it's not creepy, but boy, there's like one tone of your voice that you got to hit to where it doesn't sound creepy.
The only way I've ever pulled it off is I said, that perfume is great. It smells awesome. Could you tell me what it is? Because I used to know somebody
There you go.
that wore the scent, and I loved it. I never knew what the smell was.
She was a bitch, but I just like...
Right, she smelled great.
Right. Oh, mercy. Should I get extra fries?
What?
Yeah, get extra fries.
Is that the thing?
right,
That's the
right.
question.
Yeah.
Should I get extra fries? Yes. No matter what, yes. Get extra fries. Get a side that they can pick at.
Here's one sounds terrible from the text line. I got told one time that I have rapist eyes.
Oh,
no, wait.
man.
I'll never forget that comment. It hurt most because I have a lazy eye and little control over one eye.
Damn, man.
Well,
Well, they suck then, man. That's not okay. That's just rude. Why are you all obsessed with true crime?
You know what? What is the answer? I want to know that one.
well, Lifetime pretty well has established that 30 years ago. The people love when, somebody gets killed in a relationship.
true
But
crime.
why? I don't know.
I feel like women love drama more than guys do. And we have a different kind of drama we like. So, in a lot of female-heavy movies, the drama is a love situation, or there is a family member that's going through a painful, like, cancer treatment, like, for whatever reason, or the dog's going to die, and you know that in advance. Where dudes are like, all right, the conflict is, he has a gun, I have a gun, we need to shoot each other, blow each other's heads off. But you can't just murder someone, you have to have a really cool line.
My favorite is they have a great offense. We have a good defense. How's this going to work out? That's drama.
The answer is very much kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. It says we're indoctrinated early by our mothers who also like true crime.
Yeah,
but that doesn't answer the question. So why do
So when it first came out, their moms just really got into it, and then it just kind of kept on trickling down to where more and more started watching it with their moms.
Sure, but I could look. My dad liked football, but I can explain to you why I think a lot of guys like football.
Sure,
because I'll give you an answer. That's just like, well, my mom liked it, so I like it. I'm like, all right, but y'all, it still makes me think y'all are crazy.
Into it.
They're not crazy, they're murderous. Come
Correct.
On. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
You know what? They're learning how to defend themselves, Ted. But the number one question.
I just say that's typical. Ask the question, get an answer like that. Shocking.
Let's see. Questions that this is the number one question that men want to ask women but are too scared to ask. Do you wear heels for the clip-clop noise? Yes, absolutely.
Definitely
yes.
not for the comfort.
This is especially on marble floors and in big open rooms like a lobby. The echoes are incredible, they say.
It is. They're not wrong.
Exactly, man. Where for the noises.
And it depends who you work with. Makes a difference. Facts. Some people wear the same heels, and it's like click, clack, click, clack. We work with some people where it's like, are you like dropping a bag of anvils with every freaking step, man? Good God.
A realtor in British Columbia was fined $20,000 for what he did inside of a home for sale, Miles.
What did he do inside of that home?
I'll give you all the details at 5:50.
Thanks, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50.
Just one last one from the text. It says, once I got told by a woman that my hair told a story. I asked, what story? She said meth.
Oh, Jesus. Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This now at 206-803-ROCK.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hi, this is Tom Borthwick, the Diamond King. We have a huge selection in store, 10 times most places in Whatcom County. We have over 100 certified large diamonds in stock. We have trained staff that went to jewelry school. We offer huge discounts all the time, every day. We have 3 jewelers in our store. We want you to save time. We gift wrap everything and treat you kindly with knowledge. Thank you for shopping a family-owned small business that supports 9 families. We donate to over 50 charities per year. Thank you for being our customer, Borthwick Jewelry.
Hey, it's Mike Hawks. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throw Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast 70-year-old Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. Sadly, Mr. Rubens has died. Now, he died either last night or early this morning after a quiet 6-year battle with cancer. So you're thinking to yourself, I didn't know he had cancer. Well, he did that intentionally. He didn't want to deal with everyone else's drama as he tried to fight it. He'd been preparing for this for some time, though, as he shared a message to his fans in an Instagram statement posted after his death. So he knew what was coming. He took the time to say, hey, man, let me get my own final words in, but I want to do it posthumously so that I don't have to deal with all the stuff that comes when you tell people something sad. So, yeah, Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, now dead. I said to Miles, my son's going to be devastated. That Pee Wee Herman movie is like his Star Wars as far as it can be 80 years from now, and he would say, greatest movie I ever saw.
Has he only seen one of them?
All he saw was Big Adventure, man. And I cannot explain. It took him out of, like, super kid movies and allowed him to understand that different things can happen slightly more adult in movies. But just Pee Wee Herman himself, he just couldn't wrap his head around. He liked the guy, but he couldn't quite wrap his head around the existence. Because he's like, is it a kid or is it an adult? Pee Wee Herman's Pee Wee Herman. It is what it is, but he loved that guy.
I interviewed him many, many years ago. And he was talking about his vintage erotica collection, which he said is not something that's based on pornography, but it's the early stages of that. So it comes across like very innocent. There's a lot of those things. He did have like an inflatable penis in his warehouse. It was like 60 feet long. He had a number of different things that he collected, but most of it was just on the golden age of erotica more so than pornography.
Right, not straight porn, but erotica.
Exactly. That was kind of one of his things. And he was like, so I've got this. He's like, and then the next thing you know, I get busted in a movie theater.
Right.
He's like, this is not a good combination.
No, it doesn't look bad.
This did not work out well for me.
But hey, keep it in your pants, man. So to Pee Wee Herman, man. 70 years old. That's the part that's craziest to me.
Yeah, not old.
But we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throw Hill, could you please tell everyone now Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Well, our phone lines just took a crap. Oh. So Ted, Miles, Mike, if you'd care to join in, you get to play a little profile this today. But your categories, you have either Bite Me, Interior Decorating, or Hit Me with Your Best Shot.
I like Hit Me today.
Hit Me? No offense, Pat Benatar, it's a stupid thing to say. I just remember being a teenager, like, go ahead, hit me. And then they did, and I'm like, okay, I wish I hadn't said that. All right, but here is your story. It's one of those, like, he actually hit me. That sucked.
Those videos are great. Go ahead, hit me.
Make my day. All right, just knock him to the ground. Like, well, you asked him. What you do, hit me? Well, we go to Clearwater, Florida. I know you're thinking, Florida, get out of here. A woman was found with a baby animal in her bag after police searched her belongings during a bicycle stop. Now, according to the police department there, 43-year-old Lindsay Rodewald, she was stopped while riding her bicycle, which did not have lights on at night. So while speaking with the police, she gave them verbal consent to search her backpack. Officer found a broken glass pipe with crystal meth in it. And field tests indicated the presence of methamphetamine. Well, no kidding. Anyway, she told the police department she forgot the pipe was in her bag and that she had used the meth a few days prior. Because, Ted, if you commit a crime a few days before the cops get to you, it's perfectly cool. Yeah, I murdered that guy, but that was like last Wednesday, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, upon further investigation, the baby animal was found in a woman's backpack. They said that the animal seemed to be about a week old. It was taken to a veterinary emergency group in Tampa. The question is, what did this meth head have a baby animal version of in her backpack? Was it a raccoon? Was it a duckling? Was it a squirrel? Or was it a pigeon? So raccoon, duckling, squirrel, or pigeon?
Wow, can't be pigeon. They're not real.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Was that interior decorating?
No, hit me.
Just hit me.
Also, who hit what?
Oh, crap. I grab analyze this.
My bad, dude. All right, we'll just go analyze this.
I totally spaced on that. I don't know how I...
Who hit who with what?
Hey, you're right. I was like, gosh, I should hit him with it.
I totally messed that up.
Yeah. Let's go.
No wonder you look so confused. You're like waiting for
who's going to get hit with what? I'll say squirrel, Ted.
My bad.
I'm going with a baby raccoon.
Baby raccoon.
It's all messed up. She thinks it's a cat. Put it in my purse.
Ted beat me to the raccoon, but you know what? I'll take the duckling.
Taking the duck, huh?
What was in her satchel? Was it a raccoon, a duckling, a squirrel, or a pigeon? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyze this on Profile This. We got a Florida woman who was found with a baby animal in her bag after being pulled over on her bicycle and drugs. Was it a raccoon, a duckling, a squirrel, or a pigeon?
A raccoon. A raccoon. Bird Nick Cage. It's a raccoon in my backyard. Let's see, Miles, you went with squirrel?
Well, with squirrel.
Nah. B. Ted Smith.
Raccoon.
You went raccoon. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at left and right.
Hey, you're all over the place. You didn't even...
Because I switched up yours and Mike's answers. Somehow I had raccoon next to Mike. Then I'm like, man, I don't think he said raccoon. I think he said duckling. So Mike, just so you don't feel left out.
Yeah. There you go.
You feeling all right, man?
I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know. Out of sorts.
Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Are you guys aware that there is a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie?
I am not.
I saw a clip for it the other day. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wasn't really up to date on it either. But then I saw people posting stuff about it. I was actually playing a video game this weekend with the Ninja Turtles. I was Leonardo.
Nice.
Which one is he? Which is Leonardo?
Blue sash, swords.
Swords. Okay. Yeah.
I hope I'm right on that.
You'll find out soon.
Yeah. But either way, so I don't know. One of the first viral clips to ever go that came from YouTube was, and it's from Portland. All right. And there's a reporter. She's talking to this kid who has his face painted like a monster, right? I can't remember. It's like Frankenstein or whatever. And it's pretty famous. When you listen to it, you'll recognize it.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're great zombie. And good times here at the Waterfront Village.
I mean, that's what it's famous for. Is that kid just going, I like turtles.
Like, okay.
So, kind of, I think that was, I want to say when I read it was 16, 17 years ago that it happened. So, obviously, the guy's an adult now, but kind of cool. They got like a reporter. He's got on the same zombie makeup, and he's coming out of the new movie.
We just got out of a screening for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and I'm with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. Looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What'd you think of the movie?
I like turtles.
All right. You're a great zombie. Good times here at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, opening in theaters August 2nd.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing. In the original clip, too, like, he's zombie.
Is it the same guy, or is he just mimicking the...
No, it's the same guy.
It's the same kid.
Correct. And he's got on the same zombie. That's why it was so funny. And, like, look, kids will just do weird stuff, and you don't know why. So, like, he's dressed as a zombie, so she's setting him up for some type of zombie comment.
Of course.
And all he uttered was, I like turtles. So that was, I mean... Either way, like for my age, that one is like a legendary clip.
That's now up on the Men's Room Facebook page.
Oh, did you post that up there? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's what and Miles, right? It's the exact same guy. That's all. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. All right, now something to make you sad from your childhood.
Cool.
Damn it.
Sorry, man. Thrill brought it up first, so blame him. But Paul Reubens, he has passed away. Best known for playing Pee Wee Herman. And I didn't know this till today. Well, obviously, as he passed away last night. So today they put out this info that he was fighting cancer for years. Also, kind of interesting. I didn't realize. Did you guys read today who he came up with Pee Wee?
Yeah,
with Phil Hartman.
He was in a comedy troupe.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He's ever remembered as Pee Wee Herman, which Paul created in 1978, did an improv exercise at the Groundlings. Paul worked with another comedy legend, the late Phil Hartman, to develop the character.
Really?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
His first experiment was, I believe, Nice Dreams with Cheech and Chong.
Oh, yeah.
So
I forgot he was in
when he first initially started doing that character, but not complete, he was hamburger.
Right.
I'm sorry I stole the money. I'm not sorry. Ha! He started it then, and they kind of morphed it into what became...
A kid show.
Yeah.
Correct. And there's a lot of that stuff, right? Like Farley's famous for the van down by the river, but he had been doing that at Second City or whatever it was.
Second City, I believe he was.
Right. So it's funny, a lot of the stuff that when it finally makes it to SNL, a lot of these people have been kind of working on these skits or just improv and stuff, right? Like, we took an improv class, right? Like, sometimes you just come up with something funny in improv class. It's like, oh,
I should keep that.
Right. We could actually use this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So he was famous for that. There was a version of that. Then there was Pee Wee's Playhouse, launched in 1986. This is, I'm not trying to sound mean or heartless, but I got to be honest with you. When I was a kid, I never got it. Like Pee Wee it was odd. Like my brother and sister loved it. Almost every kid I went to school with loved it. It just was always weird to me.
I never watched it because by the time it came out, I was 17, right?
All right.
Then he does the movie. So in my mind, just kind of like you're saying, he was just this weird guy, mildly funny every once in a while. The movie comes out, a bunch of us get stoned, we go see it, and I'm like, this is great. This guy's great. Like, the character's so ridiculous, but it's awesome.
Well, that was the funny thing about, like, Pee Wee's Playhouse was almost kind of like SpongeBob is now.
Yes.
Like, obviously made for children, but it was just as loved by adults as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, was it, oh man, kid show was it Rob Zombie who worked as a set producer on that show?
Yes.
Was it that show?
I believe it was.
Okay. Wasn't Morgan Freeman on it for a minute?
He was on Electric Company.
He definitely
for sure.
did Electric Company.
So he's done kid stuff, so it wouldn't be a shocker.
I hope it's him.
It's Lawrence Fishburne.
I know, that's also like
the Reading Rainbow black guy.
Right. But there was a lot of guest appearances and stuff. And look, you're right. When that movie came out, I remember going to theater to see it because basically everybody but me loved Pee Wee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So but you still didn't like the movie?
I didn't. I don't know why. Even to this day, like maybe I should try it again in my 40s. But it just never was that funny to me.
It's so inane. I think it's hilarious. And to your point, though, I don't know why, but I realize I'm chuckling through the whole movie. Maybe just because the character's so stupid. So inevitably, whatever situation you put him in, it's going to be clown-ass ridiculous.
Right, but it's like, I love Trailer Park Boys.
Right.
And part of that is like, they're just beyond stupid, right? And they think they're doing like good ideas or whatever, but they're not. So I generally enjoy those characters. That's what I'm saying. Maybe since he passed away, I'll give Pee-wee one last ride.
Give it one last ride, man. Ride a bike with Pee-wee.
Now, with that said, Paul Rubens, remember, he got arrested in a porn theater.
Yeah.
Which, to this day, I still don't understand. I watched a whole thing on it. Basically, like that's what people do. You're in a porn theater.
You're showing porn. What did you think? No one's going there to give you a review.
It was just like an easy way to get a couple more arrests in for the numbers. So that's why they would go down there, and they happened to catch Paul Rubens, who's Pee Wee Herman at the time. Now, look, nowadays we're used to finding out about celebrities and their private lives. But that was alarming because he's basically an actor for children.
Correct.
So the fact he's in a porn theater with little Pee Wee out, not looking good.
No, Captain Kangaroo is a much more dirty individual, and he didn't get the rub that Pee Wee got.
But it's funny because after they busted Pee Wee, he kind of fell out of the public eye for a while. And I want to say his first big public appearance was maybe the MTV Music Awards. So people weren't sure because it was a different time, where not everything's on social media. You got limited information and limited amounts of time. So he shows up. People are kind of shocked, but I remember he rolls up to the podium, and he's still an absolute character. And he just looks at everyone and goes, "Heard any good jokes lately?" Because everyone had been making fun of him.
Yeah.
And the crowd loved it, and he was fine after that.
Yeah. And then I was going to say, I remember, too, the movie Blow. I really liked that movie.
Yeah.
And he was pretty famous. And that was like one of the first times I think we saw him in a role where it had nothing to do with Pee Wee Herman. And you're just like, oh, well, besides just being a comedic actor, like the guy can actually just be an actor, too.
By the way, Jimmy Smits, also a cast member on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Jimmy Smits?
I know, just because he's always an intense guy.
From NYPD Blue?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Those were the best years to NYPD Blue, by the way.
Jimmy Smits years?
I'm a Jimmy Smits apologist. Like, if he's in it, and trust me, if there's a boxing film, good chance he's in it.
Right.
Right. If you need like a dad that's not really the dad of the kids, but it's an awesome guy, he's in it. I'm like, this is a great film. They're not.
Right.
But I love them. I do respect this. Paul Rubens, he wrote a note saying, please accept my apology for not going public what I was facing the last 6 years. I've always felt a huge amount of love and respect to my friends, fans, and supporters. I've loved all of y'all so much and enjoy making art for you. He was 70 years old. Now, look, I don't think he has to apologize. I get why he felt that way because, a lot of people, and look, I get it, right? Like, I have a cousin that's younger than I am. She's, with 3 kids. She's still, it went away once. The cancer came back, right? So, I mean, some people will go public with it, which I get to kind of raise support and everything. But also, that's a tough spot to be in when you're dying. Like, do you want to tell people?
Sure.
Like, I can't blame people either way. If you want to come out front and be like, this is bad, I want other people to know that people like me get it, I go, good for you. If you're Paul Rubens and say, I can't speak about it publicly. I go,
but I think a lot of it, do you want people to treat you differently? Because inevitably that's going to be the consequence of announcing it. There's nothing wrong with either decision you make, but it's like, man, just know. If you tell people that you're suffering from some horrible affliction and that you pretty much have the expiration date set, like, everyone just treats you different.
Yeah.
As opposed to, let me just go out through my life. Let me just enjoy my life. Mm-hmm. I know, and that's enough.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, that's an extreme example, right? But you're right.
Sure.
You'd be treated different. But, growing up where I grew up, there's certain times, I would go to certain places, there'd only be one other white person. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, the joke is always you see 2 black guys at a party, they're going to start talking, and they're like, yeah, what's up, bro? What are you doing here? But, it's the same thing. If you're the only, I've been the only white person at a party, and it's like, well, I'm going to say something to the other white guy, because everybody is treating me a little bit different.
Of course.
Good for you for being here. You got guts.
Why do you say that? Right. What do you have planned that it takes me guts?
Right? Or Tiny's a real one for coming with us. What is going to happen tonight, fellas?
I know.
And why didn't anybody tell me? So, you're right. If you made that announcement, everybody would treat them different. I do say, that's why I was talking about my cousin Christina battling cancer. I do like that I brought a friend of mine, we all know. Mm-hmm. He has hair, but he buzzes it down.
Right.
So everybody, all the males in my family are bald. So we're giving him a hard time, like, why would you choose this, and that? And then she's like, yeah, I have cancer. Why are you choosing this? And I was like, get him. Get him.
Next time I see him, he's going to look like a hippie. She hit me with that cancer jab, man.
All right, this is kind of interesting. So Brad Pitt, he's working on a Formula One racing movie for Apple called Apex. So he had an exempt from the strike that's going on because it was being filmed in Hungary. So I'm pretty sure people were already there and everything.
Yeah.
But he decided to shut down production to show solidarity with his fellow actors. Says they're going to finish any shoots they've already scheduled, then shut down the rest. He's producing and starring in the movie. If you're an F1 fan, you know because you've seen Brad Pitt around at some of the races.
Oh, he's been showing up a lot more lately.
Yeah, he was like hanging out in the paddock and was on the grid before the race in Hungary. So
that explains it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool
You got to do a little research, right?
You do.
And if you're going to do research, it's a pretty cool place to do it.
Well, look, also, not me. There's a lot of people that there's sports they don't like. I'm trying to think of a random sport, but I watch everything. But I don't know. It's like I don't watch a lot of Canadian Football League.
Okay, fair.
But if our team up in Vancouver, Mike, who do we like?
The Lions.
The Lions.
BC Lions.
If the BC Lions are like, hey, we're going to give you guys field passes, like, yeah, I'm going to go up there and watch that. So same thing with F1. Like, I don't know if Brad Pitt likes it or not before this movie, but if they're like, hey, it's one of the biggest spectacles in the world. Very few people are allowed down here. Like, yeah, I'll take that ticket.
It's kind of taken over the popularity of NASCAR even here in the U.S. as far as the buzz goes. I know NASCAR is an incredibly popular sport.
But I think it's fresher and newer, and if you already like NASCAR, you can understand a lot of things instantly, right?
Well, and it's all auto racing, but they're different sports.
Correct.
And NASCAR, again, NASCAR's biggest problem is it just, remember for a while there, it really blew up. And then it got kind of regional again. So it's popular in a part of the country and stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of NASCAR fans up here.
Sure.
Right? You can go up to Evergreen Speedway and watch some races with some stock cars.
But like Indy 500, that's open wheel. That's different.
That is. And those are Indy cars. I mean, look, the biggest thing for F1 is just that show on FX. There's no other way around.
That's been their biggest, absolute promotion of that particular sport has been that. Without a doubt.
Like I got up Sunday morning at 5:30. I like to watch some of the pre-race stuff.
All right.
And Martin Brumble, the guy that you always see walking around, he's talking to fans. Now, number one, most of them didn't speak English, so he's live on TV just being like, does anybody here speak English? And like people would say, yeah, I do. But he straight up asked him, like, have you always liked it? Or is it just because of F1? And like I can't lie. It's just F1.
Sure.
Right? Like that, or Netflix. That's what got me into it. Now I love it, and I'll get up and watch the races. But I found it interesting that a guy, a legend like that in the sport, is even asking people like, "Do you actually like it?"
Isn't the show?
Oh yeah, and the Europeans do not enjoy the fact the Americans have jumped on.
What's their big beef?
Number one is that we're getting races.
Okay,
because it used to just be the one race. There was one in Canada. There was one in Austin, Texas for us. There was one in Mexico. Now there's Miami, Texas, and Vegas. So you have to take away from a European or an Asian track.
All right.
Right? And it's massive in Asia and stuff too. So they've been losing races here and there.
So think about it like this. Everyone wants their football team to play in London, but if they said 12 of their games are there, you'd be pissed.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right, basically that's it. Didn't they do one in Chicago, or was that
that was NASCAR. So
that was NASCAR.
Building on what you were saying, though, I think the open reel and the fact that it's getting so popular, F1, because they make rights, left, they go through streets. I think that's part of the reason NASCAR was like, let's do one downtown Chicago.
Okay,
and to their credit, I don't watch a ton of NASCAR. They did a street race. I watched it.
Was it good?
It was awesome.
It rained a lot.
Also, if you're a sports person like me, stay up till midnight. The United States women's national team is playing at midnight over on Fox. There'll be lead up before
How many bars are going to stay open for that on a Monday night?
I mean, I would think Rough and Tumble would, because that's their thing is women's sports.
Right.
I mean, maybe
that's that's the bar in Ballard.
Maybe the AC. I would think some bars would.
Because typically you're going to shut down like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Oh, especially on a Monday
night. But if people start rolling in at 10:30 getting ready.
Well, and throw a test. It's also Monday night, so like you might have to call in staff if you're showing that game.
That is very
Monday's usually a skeleton crew, and that's when it's an industry night because people are off.
That's it's a day off.
But midnight tonight.
Okay, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Phoenix man is arrested after attempting a Santa Claus entrance into a family's home. We head to beautiful British Columbia, where one realtor's upper lip was covered in utterly delicious foam. New York amusement park riders get an extra 10-minute ride for free. Cattle farmer picks up his heifers and decides to move to the big city. And an Ohio bank robber falls right into the cops' hands. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Our top story, we go to BC, Canada, where a real estate agent is facing a hefty fine. Sellers from the home that he was showing his clients checked their surveillance footage after showing the home to find the agent making himself at home. While waiting in the kitchen for his clients to finish their look of the house, he popped open the fridge, grabbed the jug of milk, and took a swig directly out of it before placing it right back where he found it. When approached about the action, he admitted to it using the excuse of severe dehydration due to a new medication as well being under considerable stress. He was issued a $20,000 fine. The clients that he was working with are going forward with a new agent, and he currently works for a different brokerage.
I mean, look, I'm glad that he copped to it.
Right.
But if they said why, because like all people, if you want milk and there's a jug in the fridge and no one's around,
sure,
and it doesn't matter whose house it is, this is what we do.
At this point, he's just trying to soften the blow, maybe save his job,
right.
but yeah, exactly. I was thirsty. I saw the milk. I wanted a swig.
For whatever reason, that's what we do with milk.
There you go.
I mean, that is a valid thing, though, that some things do cause dry mouth.
They do. Indeed.
I got really high, man.
Right. Not so much milk in my house, but juice. If there's a carton of juice, I'll take a swig off that, take a pull.
Like I said, the kids aren't around, count on it.
I live alone. I can drink out of anything I want.
That's right.
Do you even own glasses?
I do. I don't use them much.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, if you live alone,
that is a free feeling as an adult, man. Just opening up the fridge, grabbing whatever friggin' vessel that you want to, and just taking a swig out of it.
Yeah, and I have a penchant for cans, right? I like canned beer. I like canned soda waters. Mm-hmm. So it's I rarely use a glass in my house.
Yeah. In other news, fun story out of Ohio as we get video of a bank robbery fail. Police descended upon a local bank after getting an alert that an alarm had been triggered at 2 o'clock in the morning. They searched the building and found nobody inside, but did notice a scuffling coming from inside the ceiling. Body cam footage was shared of an officer outside of the building who noticed a blue recycle bin in an unusual place in the bank's drive-thru. The officer camped out for a short time before his suspicions paid off as a hinged door opened up above the bin, a black bag dropped into it, and then the burglar shortly after. After they committed to the drop, officers swarmed him as he was trapped in the bin, and he was arrested. This was one of the smoothest arrests I had ever seen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he does. He just kind of walks around to the drive-thru and just... It's the recycle bin is kind of, you know how there's two lanes to some of those drive-thrus?
Yeah.
It was right there in the middle section there. There is no reason why a recycle bin belongs there. I didn't catch the audio of it, but he clearly just walks around for a second, then you just see the little hinge open up, see a pair of legs dangling down, and then, yeah, as soon as he lets go and drops into the deal, that officer just runs right in, gun drawn, grabs him, and that's it. Good work there, Scooter. For our next burglary gone awry, we head to Phoenix, the hottest city in the U.S. Authorities got the call about 1 in the morning from a couple claiming someone was stuck trying to break into their house. They arrived to find their suspect, who apparently knew the victims, as he got himself stuck trying to break in through the chimney. He was rescued without incident and taken to the hospital for a quick evaluation. He also received a criminal trespassing charge.
That's it? Well, sure. Yeah, I guess technically you didn't.
Right, if he didn't damage the place, you know.
I would ask the guy, I'd be like, man, I can either start a fire or I can call the cops. Now, if I start a fire, I'm going to do it in the next 2 minutes.
That's right.
Call the cops, it's going to be about 9 hours. Broken into the wrong goddamn house. You know what you can do to avoid this? Don't break into people's house.
Don't break into my house.
You're in the wrong place. Sorry, man.
You can get out of there 9 hours, or at least...
Right. I'm either going to cook you or you're going to wait. But here's the nice thing about me. You get a choice. You're welcome.
Let me tell you, man, I'm getting cold as I'm looking at you.
And I ain't turning on the heat. It's the middle of the summer. I know, but I'm so cold.
We take to the skies where a flight out of Australia needed to be diverted. 3 men were the focal point of a flight after they popped a bottle of duty-free alcohol and started drinking heavily during the flight to the point that they became offensive. Their level of intoxication got to the point that attendants asked them to move out of the exit row seats, as they believed them to be too drunk to be able to assist in the event of an emergency. After initial refusal, they did relocate, but their disruptive behavior continued, talking loudly to other passengers
and smoking their vapes in their seats.
Jeez. In the seats?
In the seat.
Gangsters.
While there was no big incident of note, flight crews felt the need to divert the flight and remove the men before the behavior escalated. They were served a stern warning from the officers and faced fines for the behavior and vaping on the flight.
Where was this?
This was in the sky from Australia to...
All right. Somewhere I forget.
Wow,
they didn't get arrested.
Right? That's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Lovely Taryn Daly's up next. We'll see Taryn tomorrow for the return of Sit and Spin.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.